Weights have been lifted. Sprints have been run. Preparation for today's game is history. It's time to get it done. You're listening on MichiganSportsRadio.com.
Winter finals will be here before you know it, and there's still a need for registered officials. I'm John Ross, and this is This Week in High School Sports, powered by Michigan Student Aid. Welcome to 2023 as we pick up our winter sports season already in progress. While it seems like the fall season just wrapped up, winter championships will be here soon. So let's get you caught up on the whens and wheres for each of our sports. First is the Upper Peninsula Swimming and Diving Finals for both boys and girls on February 18th. And then it's on to Team Wrestling Finals on February 24th and 25th in Kalamazoo. And that's followed by Boys and Girls Skiing Finals February 27th. March is when the schedule really heats up. The competitive cheer finals will be March 2nd and 3rd this year, and those will be held at the McGurk Arena in Mount Pleasant. Girls and boys bowling finals will be held March 3rd and 4th, the same weekend as individual wrestling finals at Ford Field. Ice hockey drops the puck March 9th through 11th for semifinals and finals at USA Hockey Arena in Plymouth. Gymnastics finals are that weekend as well. Those will be held at Lakeland High School. And the Lower Peninsula Boys Swimming and Diving finals are also March 10th and 11th. Girls basketball invades the Breslin Center on March 16th for the start of 3 days of semifinals and finals action. Champions will be crowned on Saturday, March 18th. And then the boys move in the next weekend. Semifinal play starts March 23rd, and all four finals will be Saturday, March 25th. Both boys and girls basketball finals will be carried live on Bally Sports Detroit. For schedules, pairings, brackets, tickets, and streaming information, the best place to go is to the newly redesigned MHSAA.com. Everything that you need for our winter finals can be found there. Game balls this week go to Belding junior wrestler Jack Ward. He notched career win number 100 over the break, joining his older brother Mitchell and his dad/coach Art as 100-match winners at Belding. To Bedford's Victoria Gray, she scored 25 points in a 9-point win over South Lyon East in the Airport Showcase. Bedford is off to a 7-0 start this year in girls basketball. And to Montebello senior J.T. Smith. He went over the 1,000 career points mark in a win over St. Charles.
Need money for college? You need My Student Aid. My Student Aid is the go-to resource that helps Michigan families find money to pay for college. Plus, they'll guide you through the financial aid process and answer any questions you have. For grants, scholarships, and more, connect with My Student Aid, helping make college affordable for everyone. Learn more at michigan.gov/MIStudentAid.
Our weekly Be the Referee feature takes a look at the fine art of officiating with the MHSAA's Sam Davis.
If you've seen the movie Hoosiers, you know that a basketball rim is 10 feet above the ground. That's the same if you're in the gym at Beaver Island High School or at Little Caesars Arena. But what are the other court dimensions? To start, courts are typically 84 feet long, but can be up to 94 feet long. They're also 50 feet wide. The free throw line is 15 feet from the face of the backboard, and the high school three-point line is 19 feet 9 inches from the basket. Each hoop is a circle, 18 inches in diameter. The boys play with a basketball 29.5 inches in circumference. The girls play with one at 28.5 inches in circumference. And believe it or not, 2 girl balls will go through a standard rim at the same time.
Thanks, Sam. Now more than ever, we need officials. If you are interested, go to the MHSAA website now to register. Sticking with officiating, since 2020, the number of registered officials in Michigan has fallen from more than 9,000 to less than 8,000. It's a dip that puts extra strain on our current officials. But for the fall 2022 season, the number of registered officials is more in line with where we were pre-pandemic, and things seem to be slowly trending up. The MHSAA has increased pay for postseason games and provided membership in the National Association of Sports Officials. Membership gives officials expanded insurance coverages, access to professional services and development, and a subscription to an MHSAA-focused referee magazine. But there's still a need for more. If you are interested, go to MHSAA.com and click on Officials for more information. Because without officials, it's just practice. You've been listening to This Week in High School Sports, powered by Michigan Student Aid, a production of the MHSAA Network. Thanks for joining us. I'm John Ross, and we'll see you next week.
Lobbed ahead over the timeline to Gable. Gable straight to the basket, elevates, slams it down over top of Orbaugh. Won't get it. Ryans dribbles to the corner. 15 seconds to go. Ryans, Vanderjack, up fake, launches a three. Good! Oh my goodness! Out to the point. Rosema, innocent space. Shot scores! 2-goal lead for the Bulldogs. 4 on it. Line, giving on to Titus. Titus angles, pull up shot for the lead. Good! Brady Titus, a scream to the heavens after he knocks it down. And hello, everyone, and welcome to Game Night on Michigan Sports Radio. Nate Dreyer with you. Excuse me, here tonight on MGN. We're at Caledonia as we roll on in the early part of the OK Red season. Grandville, Caledonia, always a really, really fun battle when these two get together. For certain, a lot of storylines that kind of intersect with some of these teams, what they're looking to do this season, and it's always a ton of fun. Thriller of a JV game. Caledonia just went up 53-50 late inside the final minute 20 of that one. So we should still be set to start things roughly on time here this evening for the 7 o'clock tip. And as I mentioned, it should be a great game. You got Grandville 4-2 on the year. They won over West Ottawa 52-47 on our air Friday night as the Bulldogs picked up win number 1 in game number 1 of the OK Red season. Caledonia fell to a really good Hudsonville team on Friday night to open up their conference season. Coach Visser's squad for Caledonia 2-3 on the season. Of course, Desmond Young, the head coach for the Grandville Bulldogs, looking to build some momentum on from that win against West Ottawa. We'll have a lot of storylines to get to, but first we can kind of recap that West Ottawa game a little bit, of course, for the Bulldogs. Up by 19 points with about 7 minutes to go in that contest. And kind of out of nowhere, West Ottawa slowly climbed back into the contest down the stretch. In the end, in that one, the Bulldogs, of course, able to just hang on at the end. There's kind of some foul shooting struggles for the Bulldogs. West Ottawa started knocking down a lot of triples that were very critical with the way that game went down the stretch, and Grandville hangs on to a win on the road to open up the OK Red season. And for Caledonia, they were right with what's a very, very good Hudsonville team. A Hudsonville team that I think certainly is going to have a good chance to win this OK Red, or certainly have a say in it at the end. And these are two teams that always like to spoil the party. Very well coached teams on both sides. Two teams that in particular are well coached on the defensive end of the basketball. That's the storylines are going to talk tonight. It always seems like when you come to Caledonia too, they wind up being sloppy, grinding games from both teams' perspective. I certainly think that'll be the case here tonight. This is our Scott Bates Farmers Insurance Agents pregame show. We're courtside here tonight in the corner at Caledonia. I think at some point in time, we'll be able to catch a ball right here in the corner where I'm sitting if someone kind of misses a throw to the corner when they're looking to maybe set up a triple or something of the like. All right, Grandville, Caledonia, a lot still to get to on this one. As I said, solo obviously tonight. CT rejoins me for a really, really fun night of basketball on Friday. We're back on the air as it'll be a doubleheader. First Friday doubleheader at home for the Bulldogs this season as the Grandville girls and boys will take on East Kentwood. Of course, very good East Kentwood girls team. We saw the Grandville girls team play very competitively, led at the half against a very, very good West Ottawa team. And Grandville East Kentwood, always a fun matchup on the boys' side, especially with some of the talent that East Kentwood, of course, first-year head coach and Mike Thomas as well. What they've brought in, the way the Bulldogs defend, it's going to be a yin and yang type battle. And not to get ahead of ourselves, we're really looking forward to what we've got coming up Friday night. 5:30 p.m. we are on the air from Vanderslice Gymnasium. For that one, should also be hooked into the NFHS network if you tune in via the NFHS network as well. Yeah, a lot still to get to in this one. Scott Bates, Farmers Insurance Agents pregame show. We're going to step aside when we come back. We're going to start getting to some of the key players. Also, we're going to take a look at the Hudsonville and the West Ottawa games for these two respective teams. Last time out, look at some of the highlights from those games and use that to maybe preview what you can kind of expect coming up in this one. A lot to get to still. Scott Bates, Farmers Insurance Agents pregame show here from Caledonia. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Grandville, Caledonia on deck tonight. Second game of the OK Red season.
The sinister cries haunted Mary through the night. Dawn neared, and still the voice tormented her. She ran towards the safety of her car, flung open the door, and a coyote had somehow gotten locked inside. But the damaged interior was covered, thanks to Farmers Insurance. Coyote Carpool, August 1st, 2015. Talk to a farmer's agent. We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Contact the Scott Bates Agency today, 616-531-3441. A proud supporter of MichiganGameNight.com.
Can you identify your number one personal trait? The thing that you do better than most others? If not, this may be a good time to think this through. If you're really good at writing, then why use the phone? If you're great on the phone, why use email? If you have exceptional human relation skills, why sit back and let others lead? I'm Randy Hansen, president of Centennial Securities Company. Playing to our strengths is something we do very well at Centennial. And if you're already a customer, you know what I mean. If not, isn't it about time?
Member SIPC and FINRA.
And welcome back to Caledonia. Nate Dreyer with you here on the Scott Bates Agency pregame show here on MGN. Thanks, of course, to Scott Bates Agency as well as Centennial Securities, our two presenting sponsors here with Game Night on Michigan Sports Radio. See each of them scrolling in the corner of our screen at all times. Of course, also, if kind of you or your company are interested in some of what we have going on at Game Night, maybe our a listener want to become a part of it. We're always looking, and right now in particular, we're kind of looking for one new presenting sponsor. We got some cool stuff, I think, coming up for this basketball season, but I think football season as well in terms of some different kind of technologies increases in some of what we're trying to do. So looking to add on to our footprint there for a little bit. So if you are an area company, again, I mean, you know the benefits, both with Grandville and, of course, teams around the area. I've done so much with Caledonia, so on and so forth as well. So there's my shameless plug to start off our broadcast here. And thanks, of course, to Scott at Farmers and Randy at Centennial Securities for all of their support for years and years and years of Michigan Game Night, going back to before myself and Chandler ran the company as well, when Mr. Eric Kalin was in charge of things around here. All right, Grandville, Caledonia tonight. Let's get into some of the key talking points of these two teams, and then we're going to take a look at some of the highlights from each of their last times out and some of what you can expect to see maybe from those games. First off, Caledonia. We'll start with the Scots and Coach Visser's squad. A lot of players take a look at with how this team is going to try to operate and some of the things they do. We kind of know the base of what this Caledonia team looks like year after year. Tough defensive team. They shoot the ball very well. They like to use maybe some three-quarter court traps. They like the 1-2-2 press that we've seen quite often that helps throw teams off their balance. Grandville struggled against the 1-2-2 press of Calvin Christian. That could be something to keep your eye on. It's going to start with Kyan VanderWoude, who we've, of course, seen his brother before. This is a family that has starred. And VanderWoude, 6'4", grew a lot this offseason. Junior point guard, point forward, kind of in that role. He'll run the show in a lot of ways. He can score. He can defend at all levels of the floor. So it's going to start with him in terms of how this Caledonia team's looking to attack offensively. They have a lot of pieces off of that I think you also have to keep an eye on. Jaden Guggen's the kind of unique, a wing, a power forward, a bigger guy, a real bully in the paint, but he runs down the floor well, has good handles as well. He can dish to the corner. You'll see a couple of examples in the highlight package we'll show from their loss to Hudsonville of what he can do. But a tough guy, good finishing at the basket, but he can distribute, he can handle the ball as well. So a couple unique guys that can handle the ball, can run the ball down the floor if Caledonia gets to the point that they may be looking to push the ball, which they will do from time to time. By the way, as you just see, 56-53, a three-point game, and Grandville basketball in the timeout by the Bulldogs JV squad as they're looking to try to knot things up at the end of this thing. Of course, we know the name Mason McKenzie, the football star, recently signed with Saginaw Valley State. Terrific athlete, obviously. Great defensive player because of that, and he's going to create some opportunities for this Caledonia team. We'll get into the system a little bit later on as well, and we'll talk about how it compares and contrasts with the Bulldogs. Of course, for Grandville, it's going to start with Tyson Mann coming off his 25-point career-high performance over West Otto last time out. He's hitting his stride. The question is, I think, who's going to be the number 2 guard for the Bulldogs that will step up? Will it be Quentin Hendrickson? Logan Stockwell, a wing. I'll count him in there. Ryder Haight off the bench. Who's the Bulldog that's going to be the number 2 guy that can really grab the basketball, grab the range, so to speak, along with Tyson, or maybe if Tyson's being shut down, and kind of run the Bulldog attack in that way? I think that's something to keep an eye on. But Tyson, of course, he was so good. You'll see it in the highlight package in just a minute, doing everything offensively. Terrific defensive players we know as well. Like Mann hitting his stride, very big. The Bulldogs have that number 1, that point guard with great handles. They get 9 points, 10 rebounds against West Otto. Only 1 block, which is very odd for, what I would argue the best interior defensive player in West Michigan, Cam Regnaris. But what is the next level for him? Do we see Regnaris' offensive ability continue to stack up? Is this the night where we maybe start to see that come out? You saw against Calvin Christian how he was very good on the offensive end of the floor. Those are the things I think I'm going to continuously watch. By the way, the Bulldogs just tied the game, the JV squad, so we're going to overtime. So we're going to have an extended Scott Bates Farmers Insurance Agency pregame show. I am solo. I think Chandler's watching right now. I'm sure he is laughing his head off. He wasn't able to make it tonight, and now I'm shaking my fist at him. They couldn't make it tonight because we're going to have an extended pregame show. I'm going to get to talk that much more, so congrats to everyone else out there that gets to listen to me ramble on for that much longer, as always seems to happen when I'm solo on these Tuesday night games. It is the Scott Bates Farmers Insurance Agency pregame show. We're going to take a break quickly, as I'm going to try to figure out what I have to talk about, and we'll go from there. So no, we'll be right back here from Caledonia.
Can you name the 10 winners of the Nobel Peace Prize or the last 5 Miss Americas? The point is the applause dies and the achievements are forgotten. But can you name 3 friends who helped you through tough times or teachers who encouraged you in school? We remember those who make a difference in our lives. I'm Randy Hansen, president of Centennial Securities. What matters to us are the personal relationships we have with our clients, helping them build a secure financial future. As a Centennial Securities customer, you know what I mean. If you're not, isn't it about time?
Member SIPC and FINRA.
Daniel the deer danced everywhere. He pranced through fields and jigged through rivers. Then he saw it. What a stage! A place no deer had dared dance before. The hood of a brand new car.
Hey, my car!
And the car was covered, thanks to Farmers Insurance. Deer Dance Floor, December 1st, 2014. Talk to a farmer's agent. We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Contact the Scott Bates Agency today, 616-531-3441. A proud supporter of MichiganGameNight.com.
Jerry opened the letter. An eviction notice? He and his family couldn't bear to move again. It was warm and they had plenty of space for their acorns. Anxiety took a hold of him. Then suddenly,
you've got squirrels in your engine and they chew through the wiring.
And it was covered, thanks to a farmer's agent. Engine Bay Squatters, May 23rd, 2015. Talk to farmers. We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Contact the Scott Bates Agency today at 616-531-3441. Your local farmer's agent who helps you plan for the unexpected.
I'm Randy Hansen, president of Centennial Securities. I've heard it said that professional coaches measure success in rings, college coaches measure success in championships, and high school coaches measure it in titles. But youth coaches measure success in smiles. At Centennial Securities, we're like the youth coach. Our success is measured by the smiles on the faces of our satisfied clients. If you're a Centennial Securities customer, you know what I mean. If you're not, isn't it about time?
Member SIPC and FINRA.
The sinister cries haunted Mary through the night. Dawn neared, and still the voice tormented her. She ran towards the safety of her car, flung open the door, and a coyote had somehow gotten locked inside. But the damaged interior was covered, thanks to Farmers Insurance. Coyote Carpool, August 1st, 2015. Talk to a farmer's agent. We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Contact the Scott Bates Agency today, 616-531-3441. A proud supporter of MichiganGameNight.com.
Can you identify your number 1 personal trait? The thing that you do better than most others? If not, this may be a good time to think this through. If you're really good at writing, then why use the phone? If you're great on the phone, why use email? If you have exceptional human relation skills, why sit back and let others lead? I'm Randy Hansen, president of Centennial Securities Company. Playing to our strengths is something we do very well at Centennial. And if you're already a customer, you know what I mean. If not, isn't it about time?
Member SIPC and FINRA.
And welcome back here. Scott Bates, Farmers Insurance Agency pregame show. Nate Dreyer with you. Granville Bulldogs JV squad up in OT right now as we continue through this Bates Agency pregame show and break down some of what we can expect to see in this one. Grandville, Caledonia, the 4-2 Bulldogs, 2-3 Fighting Scots. I think those records, they already are close enough, but you can probably go ahead and throw them out with the way these two teams have played each other in the past, some similar styles as well. You can expect them to grind. You can expect the game to be a little bit sloppy and tough this evening. I certainly think will kind of be front of mind for these two teams in terms of what we're going to see. For Grandville, got to some of the key players. What are some of the other talking points of this team? The defense, the half-court defense in particular, the man system that Coach Young brings. It is what I kind of called a couple games ago, and I may stick with it, the best quarter, half-court, man-to-man defense. I think there are some defenses in the area that maybe go more full court. Think of what Unity Christian and some other teams do. They're really good. Gramps Christian more in the full court. But in terms of a grinding man-to-man in the quarter court, it isn't quite a pack line. It's a little bit more aggressive than that. This defense is as good as it really gets, and they can really grind you down. We saw that through the first 3.5 quarters in particular against West Ottawa until the Panthers started knocking down some really deep shots that kind of altered the course of that game down the stretch, and they still gave up sub 50 even with all those late threes. That's pretty much what they've done all year. The Bulldogs gave it up 51.8 on the year. It's really the Northview game, the only time that they gave up a few more points. They kind of took them off of that, so that's going to be something to continue to watch. And then, of course, Caledonia, systematically also very good defensively. You'll see Coach Visser throw a little bit of their looks in there. They're like a three-quarter court 1-2-2 trap. We've seen them utilize quite often. They'll sometimes sink back into a 1-2-2 quarter court defense off of that as well. So they have an ability to mix things up. It's a great no-middle defense as well that they bring to the table. So Grandville likely going to have to shoot the basketball very well, and they're going to have to be smart getting the ball up the floor. The Bulldogs handled the pressure well against West Ottawa on Friday night. They've handled man full court pressure well. We did see Calvin Christian, the game at the Invite, give the Bulldogs some second half struggles when Calvin Christian went to a 1-2-2 three-quarter court trap of their own. So that's something to watch, and they really turned the wick up on it. Calvin Christian does, I think, compared to Caledonia, who maybe uses it to slow the game down sometimes a little bit and force a couple extra passes, maybe get a steal or two here. So that's something to watch. It's slightly different how they utilize things, but that's going to be a matchup. Can the Bulldogs break that pressure when Caledonia decides to bring it? What can Grandville do in terms of maybe the depth of shooting? They shot the ball very well, top to bottom. Highbore had a three. Did not hit a three, but had some good offensive play. Stockwell hit a three. So they had guys up and down the lineup that were able to knock down threes against West Ottawa for the Bulldogs. The same sort of thing going to have to be critical in this matchup if they're going to find a way to take down Caledonia in that one. Scott Bates, Farmers Insurance Agency pregame show. All right, this may be the first of a couple times to look at it, but let's take a look at the last contest for each of these teams. Grandville versus West Ottawa, first scorer of the game. Quinn Hendrickson in the corner. Nice feed from Tyson Mann, finding him baseline. That's going to be a big thing that the Bulldogs were able to go to throughout this game. We're going to look at this next play a couple of times. It's the active hands from Corbin Heckman, the athleticism and the jam from Cam Ragnaris. First off, Heckman so good defensively last time out for the Bulldogs, but right here able to get his hands in the passing lane in the full court. That pass looking for John Beetham, picks it off. Ragnaris reads the play well, and that's just the athleticism that you can see in Cam Ragnaris. We'll look at it one last time as he skies and jams with a couple big momentum boosts early in the game for the Bulldogs in that one. Here's Tyson Mann. He had 25 points because of plays like this. Good screen from Ragnaris, able to go around the ball screen and in a rhythm knock down the triple. Tyson also good in the full court defensively right here. Active hands, able to get the ball away from Carson Whitvote, and a good move on Whitvote turns into 2 points. Just a little bit more of what Tyson Mann was able to do in that contest for the Bulldogs. Mentioned the Bulldogs' depth of scoring. This was a push on the break. Heckman finds Stockwell. Stockwell knocks it down to the right corner for the triple that pushed the Bulldog lead even more. Great defense from Mann a moment ago. Here's great defense from Ryder Haight. Easy reach, easy score as we just about closed out the third quarter of that, because we actually closed out the third quarter with this. Unfortunately, you're not going to see the end of it, but a half court. Even Tyson Mann bangs it home, of course, to kind of execute his night even more. Highbore triple try, another push to the corner. He knocked it down much like that Stockwell play a moment ago. If the Bulldogs' wings are shooting like that, that's a very big deal. Cam Ragnaris only had one registered block on the evening. It was on the undersized John Beetham right there. Good job to read and go from there. So you see some of the key stats. Granville 35% to 27% led the field goal percentage battle, and that was that really highlights, I think, what the basketball game was when you look back at it. Good three-point shooting from the Bulldogs. West Ottawa very good from the charity stripe. The Bulldogs leading in the steals advantage. West Ottawa rebounded the basketball exceptionally well. That was the number one thing that kept the Panthers in all night long, was how exceptionally well they were able to rebound the basketball against the Bulldogs, and a big part of how they were able to make that comeback, along with knocking down some triples they were missing earlier. And now you see Hudsonville 64, Caledonia 60 last time out. Let's see some of what the Scots do. Of course, Kyan VanderWoude, we start with what he's able to do, get the basketball right there off the block. Caden DeHorn, the technically, I guess, the center of the postman, but he's going to step out. They've run a bit of a five-man offense. They will knock down the triple in the corner right here. When this team is shooting well, that's a big thing of what they're going to do. And again, right here, it's VanderWoude able to turn some defense into offense. It was Mason McKenzie helping lead the break. VanderWoude gets behind the break and able to score with the layup off the window again. You're taking a look right here at Mason McKenzie again. Defense and offense. This time Mason takes it all the way to the rack himself from the Saginaw Valley football commit, able to score off the window right there in the full court. Max Greenfield comes off the bench, able to knock down a triple right here. Again, that's a very critical point of both of these teams, but in particular the Caledonia attack, how they're going to try to score. Elijah Holt, senior point guard, he does a little bit of everything right here. Again, you see they turn a miss into a score back the other way. It's Holt getting the finish. That's what they're going to do. They're slower offensively in the half court, but when you let them run, they're going to be able to beat you. This time it's Holt again, and went a little bit of a half court push to the corner, push back to the wing, knocks down the triple. Now you see a couple of examples of Jaden Googans. Mentioned him, the big junior forward. Look at that move. Behind the back dribble, ball fake, floater, scores down the lane, looks back to the bench, and you'll see the opposite right here. Another push. This time he gave it to Holt in the corner. Holt able to toe the line and score. So Googans able to do a little bit of everything right there in the break-in. VanderWoude also can shoot. He'll knock down the triple from the wing right here, despite the late closeout from Braden Shamray for Hudsonville. You see some of the stats from that contest. Of course, Caledonia falls in that game, but they shot a higher field goal percentage. They shot better from three. They even out-rebounded them, out-assisted them. They just turned the ball over quite a bit, and they were even better at the free throw line. So I guess from that you can look at Caledonia, despite the loss against one of the best teams in the OK Red, Hudsonville. They put up a really terrific performance, and they certainly had a chance to have won that basketball game. So where do we exactly go from that JV contest in the books? Grandville boys picked up, Grandville JV boys picked up the win in that one. So warm-ups now underway for the varsity squad. So 20 minutes until we get this thing underway, and we, of course, have got plenty of time to get into the nitty-gritty. Grandville, Caledonia, OK Red, game number 2 on the season right here on Game Night. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back here from Caledonia High School.
Jerry opened the letter. An eviction notice? He and his family couldn't bear to move again. It was warm, and they had plenty of space for their acorns. Anxiety took a hold of him. Then suddenly,
You've got squirrels in your engine and they chew through the wiring.
and it was covered, thanks to a farmer's agent. Engine Bay Squatters, May 23rd, 2015. Talk to farmers. We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Contact the Scott Bates Agency today at 616-531-3441. Your local farmer's agent who helps you plan for the unexpected.
I'm Randy Hansen, president of Centennial Securities. I've heard it said that professional coaches measure success in rings, college coaches measure success in championships, and high school coaches measure it in titles. But youth coaches measure success in smiles. At Centennial Securities, we're like the youth coach. Our success is measured by the smiles on the faces of our satisfied clients. If you're a Centennial Securities customer, you know what I mean. If you're not, isn't it about time?
Member SIPC and FINRA.
And welcome back. Nate Dreyer with you here from Caledonia. Scott Bates, Farmers Insurance Agents pregame show. Grandville, Caledonia on deck. Both teams continuing, or Bolo as well, came a few years back, the game at Thornapple Kellogg. I think the JV game went to double overtime, and we had like an hour and a half pregame show off that. I don't think we're going to quite get there tonight. I think we'll only get to about 50 minutes or so on the pregame show before tip-off. There's still quite a bit to do. Here's actually what we're going to do as we kind of close in on the game time. We've gone over a lot of stuff. We're going to do a bit of a game reset, essentially take the broadcast back on from the top. We'll intro things back with Michigan Sports Radio. Maybe if you normally tune in later, you can see some of how we open our broadcast as well. So we'll go back to the Michigan Sports Radio intro, do the MHSAA This Week report, and then send it back on to the broadcast right here. So we'll send it over in just a second to John Ross, the MHSAA This Week in High School Sports. And after that, get some basketball underway. Grandville, Caledonia, about 15, well, you can see it, 16-plus minutes away from starting in this. And we'll be right back here on the Bates Agents pregame show.
Weights have been lifted. Sprints have been run. Preparation for today's game is history. It's time to get it done. You're listening on MichiganSportsRadio.com.
Winter finals will be here before you know it, and there's still a need for registered officials. I'm John Ross, and this is This Week in High School Sports, powered by Michigan Student Aid. Welcome to 2023 as we pick up our winter sports season already in progress. While it seems like the fall season just wrapped up, winter championships will be here soon. So let's get you caught up on the whens and wheres for each of our sports. First is the Upper Peninsula Swimming and Diving Finals for both boys and girls on February 18th. And then it's on to Team Wrestling Finals on February 24th and 25th in Kalamazoo. And that's followed by Boys and Girls Skiing Finals February 27th. March is when the schedule really heats up. The competitive cheer finals will be March 2nd and 3rd this year, and those will be held at the McGurk Arena in Mount Pleasant. Girls and boys bowling finals will be held March 3rd and 4th, the same weekend as individual wrestling finals at Ford Field. Ice hockey drops the puck March 9th through 11th for semifinals and finals at USA Hockey Arena in Plymouth. Gymnastics finals are that weekend as well. Those will be held at Lakeland High School. And the Lower Peninsula Boys Swimming and Diving finals are also March 10th and 11th. Girls basketball invades the Breslin Center on March 16th for the start of 3 days of semifinals and finals action. Champions will be crowned on Saturday, March 18th. And then the boys move in the next weekend. Semifinal play starts March 23rd, and all four finals will be Saturday, March 25th. Both boys and girls basketball finals will be carried live on Bally Sports Detroit. For schedules, pairings, brackets, tickets, and streaming information, the best place to go is to the newly redesigned MHSAA.com. Everything that you need for our winter finals can be found there. Game balls this week go to Belding junior wrestler Jack Ward. He notched career win number 100 over the break, joining his older brother Mitchell and his dad/coach Art as 100-match winners at Belding. To Bedford's Victoria Gray, she scored 25 points in a 9-point win over South Lyon East in the Airport Showcase. Bedford is off to a 7-0 start this year in girls basketball. And to Montebello senior J.T. Smith. He went over the 1,000 career points mark in a win over St. Charles.
Need money for college? You need My Student Aid. My Student Aid is the go-to resource that helps Michigan families find money to pay for college. Plus, they'll guide you through the financial aid process and answer any questions you have. For grants, scholarships, and more, connect with My Student Aid, helping make college affordable for everyone. Learn more at michigan.gov/MIStudentAid.
Our weekly Be the Referee feature takes a look at the fine art of officiating with the MHSAA's Sam Davis.
If you've seen the movie Hoosiers, you know that a basketball rim is 10 feet above the ground. That's the same if you're in the gym at Beaver Island High School or at Little Caesars Arena. But what are the other court dimensions? To start, courts are typically 84 feet long, but can be up to 94 feet long. They're also 50 feet wide. The free throw line is 15 feet from the face of the backboard, and the high school three-point line is 19 feet 9 inches from the basket. Each hoop is a circle, 18 inches in diameter. The boys play with a basketball 29.5 inches in circumference. The girls play with one that's 28.5 inches in circumference. And believe it or not, 2 girl balls will go through a standard rim at the same time.
Thanks, Sam. Now more than ever, we need officials. If you are interested, go to the MHSAA website now to register. Sticking with officiating, since 2020, the number of registered officials in Michigan has fallen from more than 9,000 to less than 8,000. It's a dip that puts extra strain on our current officials. But for the fall 2022 season, the number of registered officials is more in line with where we were pre-pandemic, and things seem to be slowly trending up. The MHSAA has increased pay for postseason games and provided membership in the National Association of Sports Officials. Membership gives officials expanded insurance coverages, access to professional services and development, and a subscription to an MHSAA-focused referee magazine. But there's still a need for more. If you are interested, go to MHSAA.com and click on Officials for more information. Because without officials, it's just practice. You've been listening to This Week in High School Sports, powered by Michigan Student Aid, a production of the MHSAA Network. Thanks for joining us. I'm John Ross, and we'll see you next week.
To head over the timeline to Gable. Gable straight to the basket. Elevates. Slams it down over top of Orbaugh. Won't get it. Ryans dribbles to the corner. 15 seconds to go. Ryans, Vanderjack, up fake, launches a three. Good! Oh my goodness! Out to the point. Rosema, innocent space. Shot scores! 2-goal lead for the Bulldogs. 4 unanswered. Giving on to Titus. Titus angles, pull-up shot for the lead. Good! Brady Titus, a scream to the heavens after he knocks it down. And welcome back here to Game Night on Michigan Sports Radio. Nate Dreyer with you here this evening. This is the Scott Bates Farmers Insurance Agency pregame show under 10 minutes from getting this one underway. Grandville, Caledonia here this evening. We'll kind of go back over some of the key things that we're going to be watching for tonight. For Grandville, now 4-2 on the year. They're coming off a 52-47 win over West Ottawa for head coach Desmond Young to open up the OK Red season Friday night right here on MGN Air. In that game, Grandville led by as much as 19 with about 7 minutes to go. West Ottawa used kind of some really good shooting, a little bit of, a couple turnovers and the white couple missed free throws for the Bulldogs as well were part of it. But for the most part, West Ottawa able to kind of nicely and slowly, quietly climb their way back into that game. Grandville hangs on, though, in terms of the pivotal talking point right there. The Bulldogs do hang on. They do win that contest over West Ottawa. Caledonia, they fell to start the conference season 64-60 against Hudsonville. And in that game, the Caledonia side, and we'll actually look at this in a couple minutes if you missed our first segment, we looked over some highlights. The Caledonia side, I mean, they outshot them from field goal percentage, from three, even out-rebounded Hudsonville, but the Eagles able to get a couple more turnovers. They utilized it well, and in a tight game down the stretch, that was the difference. And Coach Elliott's team start the year 1-0 in conference play. It's a very good Hudsonville team. This is a good Caledonia team. Don't let the 2-0 record, the 0-1 in the conference, fool you. This is a team that's going to beat a lot of people, as everyone is pretty much going to beat a lot of people and beat up on each other in the OK Red this season. That certainly is going to be very, very true of this Caledonia side. Looking at some of the key guys for these teams in terms of coming off the last games, of course, Tyson Mann for Grandville, 25 points. His career high led the way against West Ottawa. Have to watch out for him. A near miss on what would have been another double-double for the junior center. Cam Ragnaris had 9 points, 10 rebounds, and a block. Only one block, which is very low for arguably the best post defender in the area. Ragnaris, of course, remember he had the Wigerink matchup, who's the only guy in the conference that's taller than Cam Ragnaris in the post. Kyan VanderWoude, Jaden Googans, your kind of two scoring leaders at least for Caledonia. You go back a couple games, they beat Covenant Christian, kind of their premier win of the year, 15 for VanderWoude and 31 in that game for Googans, who is a really, really unique point forward type guy. We'll talk a little bit about wing player, what he is able to do. And with that, let's actually roll right into taking a look at the last time out for these two teams. We missed a little bit earlier on. Of course, Grandville beats West Ottawa. They open the scoring. Tyson Mann drives baseline as he would all night long draw a lot of traffic in the first of many triples for the Bulldogs. Hendrickson knocks that one down. We'll look at this play a couple of times coming up right here. Active hands, a nice job by Heckman to reach. Got it on to Ragnaris, who skies. So first focus on the defense. And Corbin Heckman in the full court. So good defensively against West Ottawa. That pass was on its way for John Beetham. He read the passing lane. And then you see Cam Ragnaris with the athleticism, able to read the play himself. Sky jam it over top of Nash Bosma, who was the one reaching in against him. Big early momentum play in the game for the Bulldogs against West Ottawa. Tyson Mann had 25. Here's three of them. Steps around the screen, able to size up Tyler Behrens, the bigger defender, knock it down in his face off the crossover. Big work right there from Tyson Mann. He did a lot of big work, including right here. Able to read the passing lane, get the pass away from Carson Whitvote. Stutter, step, and score off the window, reaching around Whitvote right there. So there's 5 of the points he had. The Bulldogs knocking down triples in the corner was a part of the night as well. Heckman in the full court pushes it to Stockwell. Stockwell knocked down the triple right there for the Bulldogs. Ryder Haight, good defense for him, of course, all night long. That's the highlight of his night as we neared the end of the third quarter. Strips Beetham, scores an easy couple right there. You won't see it go in, but this was, of course, the play of the night. Tyson Mann, 3 of his 25 from right there. The other side of the West Ottawa logo, knocked it down to end the third quarter. Another play right here, Grandville wing. It's Highbore this time in the corner, knocking down the triple off a good push feed, and that was a big part of what Grandville did top to bottom, able to have a lot of guys that knock down threes. Only registered block of the night for Cam Ragnaris right there, able to read the spinning Beetham and rip it on down. And take a look at some of the key stats from the Grandville win over West Ottawa. The one thing that kept West Ottawa in the game and helped really push their comeback down the stretch was the rebounding. They outright rebounded the Bulldogs, as you can see, 43-35, but the Bulldogs doubled them up on steals and outshot West Ottawa, and they outshot them even more than that until the Panthers started really knocking down some shots at the end of the fourth quarter, I should say, and went on that run. I mean, it looked like they maybe West Ottawa, that is, going to be held to sub-30 against this incredible Grandville defense. And you can kind of take a look at it. Grandville, three-point shooting good as well. Hudsonville, they took down Caledonia by 4. Let's take a look at the Scott side of things. Starts with Kyan VanderWoude right here. The block in the lane. He's lanky, 6'4" as a point guard, able to shut down the smaller attacking defenders right here. Caden DeHorn, technically their post player, their center, but they play 5 out, and it's DeHorn in the corner knocking down the 3. 1 through 5, they can shoot the basketball. Caledonia, that is, very well. Here, VanderWoude, able to help turn defense and offense. As first, it's Mason McKenzie. He outlines him, and the lanky point guard able to score at the basket. Now, another look at Mason McKenzie, defense into offense. This time, Mason able to get the steal and get the finish himself down the floor. That is where he's going to do his dirtiest work on both ends of the floor, is when he's able to get the defense, turn offense. Maddox Greenfield off the bench, knocks down the 3 right here. Again, just headlines the effect of what this team, Caledonia, can do from behind the arc. Elijah Holt, senior point guard, very, very steady player. He's able to get behind the defense. Guess what? Mason McKenzie feeds him and score right here with the right hand off the window. Another look at Holt right here. They're able to work in the half court. They'll go fast in the full court off steals. They'll grind you in the half court. They wind up with the triple right there in the wing. And Jaden Googans, the power forward wing, such a unique guy. Look at this right here. The handles for the big guy behind the back, blows the lane, ball fake, floater. Good, able to knock that one down off the front rim. This is the other side of what he can do right here. Googans, this time, no look feed to the corner. Holt knocks down the triple right there. A little bit of what Googans, a really unique big guy, is able to do running down the floor with great handles. Kyan VanderWoude, oh yeah, he can shoot as well. Able to knock that one down right there. And again, it was a tight loss, as you saw, a bit of a comeback as well. And you see the stats. They outshot him from the field. They outshot him from 3. They outshot him from the line. They had more assists. They had more rebounds. But at the end of the day, a couple more turnovers. Hudsonville able to capitalize on that and wind up getting a 4-point win out of that contest. Let's look at the last time out in the first OK Red game of the season for Grandville and Caledonia each. A lot more still to get to here as we'll get into some of our keys of the game on the Scott Bates Farmers Insurance Agency pregame show. Don't quit. We'll be right back here from Caledonia.
Jerry opened the letter. An eviction notice? He and his family couldn't bear to move again. It was warm and they had plenty of space for their acorns. Anxiety took a hold of him. Then suddenly,
You've got squirrels in your engine and they chew through the wiring.
and it was covered thanks to a farmer's agent. Engine Bay Squatters, May 23rd, 2015. Talk to farmers. We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Contact the Scott Bates Agency today at 616-531-3441. Your local farmer's agent who helps you plan for the unexpected.
I'm Randy Hansen, president of Centennial Securities. I've heard it said that professional coaches measure success in rings, college coaches measure success in championships, and high school coaches measure it in titles. But youth coaches measure success in smiles. At Centennial Securities, we're like the youth coach. Our success is measured by the smiles on the faces of our satisfied clients. If you're a Centennial Securities customer, you know what I mean. If you're not, isn't it about time?
Member SIPC and FINRA.
Welcome back to the Scott Bates Farmers Insurance Securities, our presenting sponsors. Very happy to have both of them on as we roll into another winter season and what's going to turn into, as it always does, a very busy winter season here as we're going 2+ games or 2+ nights, always probably 3 games then with double headers each and every week. All right, keys to the game, Grandville and Caledonia for Coach Desmond Young for the Bulldogs and Coach Phil Visser for the Scots. First off, key for both teams is watching how the Bulldogs handle, and when it is utilized for Caledonia, the 1-2-2 trap. This is a Caledonia team, they'll grind you man-to-man defensively, just like the Bulldogs will do, but also they really like to utilize, you saw in the JV game, a 1-2-2 three-quarter court trap, which is a very effective trap at kind of forcing the offense to have to make a couple extra passes, create some turnovers off of that, and then a lot of times they might settle into kind of a no-middle matchup zone, a 1-2-2 kind of matchup zone off of that when they take that general look and close it down to the quarter court around the key, essentially, and defend off of that. So how do the Bulldogs handle that? They had some issues against Calvin Christian when Calvin Christian, the Squires, brought out a 1-2-2 trap, but the Bulldogs worked very well in the full court when you saw West Ottawa and some other teams try to defend them that way. So that's something to watch. The shooting for both teams big. Both these teams are going to live and die by the three a little bit. It's the way they like to score the basketball quite often. If they're scoring from three in depth, they're going to be good. And watch out for the X Factor tonight. Cam Regnaris, not your normal X Factor, of course, one of the leading stars for the Bulldogs each and every night that they take to the floor. But I think Regnaris, if he offensively shows out for the Bulldogs, versus also then if Caledonia can shut him down a little bit and force the Grandville guards to have to do everything, that'll be the key thing to watch. We know what his defense brings to the table. Can that next level of offense come out for Cam as well in the game? He is going to have the size advantage down low. All right, that'll do it for the Scott Bates Farmers Insurance Agency pregame show. Do not go anywhere. We'll be right back here from Caledonia's second OK Red League game of the season on deck right after this.
Somebody once said life moves pretty fast, and that's exactly how we like it. Want to build something? Great. Start businesses, build bridges, raise a whole city. Future in fighting crime? Want to save lives? Do it all here. But you've got to go forward fast. Because today is now, and tomorrow is soon. And to get ahead of the game, you got to get ahead of your time. This is your future, so take it and move all of us forward.
To everyone who loves great food, let us make you a meal the Wisconsin way.
We cook each butter burger to order for you and the people you love, so it's the best part of your day.
The best.
The best.
And every creamy scoop of fresh frozen custard, pure happiness.
Pure happiness.
Pure happiness. Because where Culver's comes from.
And the heart of America's Dairyland.
Our love.
Our love for fresh food is as strong as our love for all of you.
From Wisconsin with love.
Welcome to Delicious.
Yeah.
And welcome back to Caledonia. All right, time to rock and roll. Second OK Red game of the season. Let's see who's starting tonight for each of the respective teams. Phil Visser, head coach of Caledonia. They will be in the home white uniforms, purple numbers and lettering, purple and gold trimming down the side. They're going to start the junior forward, Jaden Googans, along with the senior guard, Kyan VanderWoude, and the senior guard, Elijah Holt. They'll be joined in the backcourt along with the 5'11 senior guard, Mason McKenzie. And up front in the middle is their 6'4 senior forward, Caden DeHorn. For Desmond Young, second-year head coach for the Bulldogs, it's the traveling maroon uniforms, numbers, lettering, and trimming in gray. Some black trimming down the side as well of that Bulldog maroon uniform. Same lineup we've seen pretty much all year long for the Bulldogs here this evening. The 4-2 squad. Junior guard Tyson Mann starts in the backcourt along with the senior guard Tyson Mann starts alongside the senior guard Quentin Hendrickson. The senior wing, Logan Stockwell, gets the start, and up front the Bulldogs have a pair of juniors, the 6'8 junior Cam Regnaris on the inside, and the 6'4 junior Corbin Heckman gets the start for the Bulldogs. Grandville moves left to right across your radio dial to open this one up. Caledonia moves right to left right here. Will be interesting to see the start. What kind of pace are we going to work with in this game? When will we see some of the full court defense from Caledonia and that trap that they like to utilize come into play? It'll be DeHorn jumping against Cam Ragnaris. Give about 3-4 inches to Cam on this initial jump. Again, Caledonia home whites, purple numbers, gold trimming, purple trimming. Granville the traveling maroons with silver trimming, lettering, and numbering. Here we go. To center floor, 8 minutes up on the board, and we're underway. The Bulldogs push it ahead to Quentin Hendrickson for the initial control left wing. He's defended by Elijah Holt to the wing. Stops top of the key, underhand handoff on to Mann. No look feed right side to Stockwell. He'll jab, defended by VanderWoude. Kicks right corner to Hendrickson. Hendrickson working with the basketball into the right wing. Stutter step, picks up the dribble, feeds top of the key to Heckman, who swings it left wing to Mann. Mann drives the lane, jump stop, right elbow, exit pass up top, Ragnaris. Ragnaris, down right block, Heckman. Turns the body, working across, hook shot over top of the defender. Underhand handoff right wing for VanderWoude. VanderWoude drives into the lane, past left corner to Googans. Googans will work, defended here by Ragnaris. Enters into the lane, takes it back out behind the arc, keeping the dribble. Down the left side, Googans blowing into the lane, turning the shoulder on Ragnaris, stepped out of bounds on the spin move along the baseline, and Grandville takes the basketball back over. So Bulldogs 2-0 lead early. Will have it, and the full court defense is on a man-to-man full court defensive look from Caledonia. Mann blowing past Holt, or Hendrickson blowing past Holt all the way down the floor. Right corner, feeds on to Stockwell. Triple from the corner, misses everything strong. Googans the rebound. He'll run with it right to left as the Bulldogs set up the half-court defense. First minute gone, 2-0 Grandville. Googans blows in the lane, defended by Ragnaris. Hands off for a cutting Holt. Jump pass, left corner, chase down into the corner right in front of us. It is out of bounds, last touched by the Bulldogs. They'll stay in the corner with Mason McKenzie to throw it in. McKenzie, of course, the starring football, the guy that had my Mr. Football vote, if I had one this year in the state of Michigan, taking the Scots all the way to the Division I state championship game. The first year in Division I for the Scots. Holt blows down the middle of the lane, pull up fake, mid-range jumper from the lane, good, and Elijah Holt gets Caledonia on the board as they go back to the full court man defense. Hendrickson blows over the timeline, spins top of the key as he gets over. Jump pass down right block to the spinning Heckman. Heckman holds ball high above his head, feeds it left elbow on to Hendrickson. Out behind the arc, feeds right wing for Mann. Reaching pass around a defender down right block to Ragnaris. Ragnaris feeds left wing. Triple try is up and good for Heckman on the rattle. Good start for him, 5-2 Bulldogs. Into the lane, driving Googans, stripped to the basketball and stolen by Ragnaris. Ragnaris runs the floor, left-hand layup around Mason McKenzie is good. 7-2 Grandville. Good start for the Bulldogs in this one as they're going to their junior forwards early and often. 5:50 to go first quarter. Holt to run the offense for Caledonia. Drives down the right side of the lane, cut off right block, stolen by Heckman. Able to get the hand in there as it was Mann applying the pressure, and Heckman gets the steal and Mann gets the basketball up the floor. Mann starting the dribble, works around a screen, top of the key, set by Ragnaris. Jump pass, right corner with space. Stockwell triggers a three, pure right down the hatch. 10-2, and a timeout from Coach Visser. What a start by the Bulldogs early on in this one. 5.5 to go in the first. Bulldogs by 8. We'll be right back here from Caledonia.
Cornerstone University.
The professors are very open to helping whenever they can.
Academic excellence, character-driven athletics, Christ-centered community involvement.
Cornerstone has been a great opportunity for me to grow as a leader, just being able to approach people and be warm and welcoming and hospitable.
Experience it for yourself. Attend a Golden Eagle Day at Cornerstone for a taste of campus life and the chance to meet faculty and staff. To arrange a visit for your high school junior or senior, go to cornerstone.edu. Cornerstone University. Build a life that matters.
A sense of purpose, a higher calling. At Dean Transportation, we call it our passion. It's simply who we are. 60 years of pioneering the best health and safety standards because safe student transportation is essential. We are hard-working folks, connecting children to learning, schools to our communities, and you to a better career. Want to make your community a better place? We'll put you in the driver's seat. Join the Dean family today and help to connect our kids to brighter futures.
Welcome back to Caledonia. Nice reaching layup from Kyan VanderWoude around the defenders. Scores with the left, and Caledonia back on the board. 10-4 game. Quentin Hendrickson to run the Bulldog offense. Top the key, defended by Holt. Jump pass left wing. Heckman down to a driving Ragnaris. Takes the ball to the basket. Blocked from Mason McKenzie. Googans the ball up the floor. Crossover dribble over the timeline. Googans blowing into the lane. Stops left block with a spin move. Exit pass up top, VanderWoude. Stutter step defended by Heckman. He'll pull it out and start around a screen. Top of the key to Googans. Googans left-hand dribble, blows in the lane. Runner, right-hand shot, good off the window. So out of their timeout, a quick 4-0 run from Caledonia. The Scots within 4. Hendrickson left to right will run the offense for the Bulldogs. Hendrickson, number 2 in maroon. Defended by Holt, right wing. Handoff for a curling Tyson Mann to the free throw line. Mann pulls up, top of the key. Shot rattles out, no good. Holt the rebound. He'll run with it for Caledonia with some pace. Holt handoff right wing VanderWoude. Holds triple threat, angle drive, pull-up shot, free throw line, no good front rim. Leaping rebound down into Horn. Turns the right-hand shot, rolls out, rebound down to Stockwell. Here is Hendrickson with some pace to run the Bulldog offense. 4:12 to go first quarter, 10-6 Grandville. Hendrickson bounces around to Regnerus, screen, throws it 2 hands left corner. To Heckman, up fake, dribble drive, handoff left block, Regnerus, stripped to the basketball, on the floor. He and DeHorn tie up over it. Whistle comes, and on the held ball, the alternating possession goes Caledonia's way. Scots make their first substitutions of the game. Theron Sanders, senior forward. Max Greenfield, junior guard, check in for Coach Visser, as Googans and VanderWoude each will take a seat right here for the Scots. So this might be a little bit smaller and a little bit more of a unit that we might see the Scots running with right here, as it will be Elijah Holt, senior guard, to run the offense. Long sleeve down the left arm, drives into the lane, reverse layup, strong off the back rim, rebound to Hendrickson. He's hassled up the court, but able to turn his way over the timeline and cross over here with Holt in his face. Hendrickson, dump pass, right wing, Tyson Mann. 3.5 to go first quarter, Bulldogs by 4. Mann defended by McKenzie. Up top, Regnerus, down low, nice pass on to Heckman. He's able to go up and score. What a start for Heckman. He's got 7 early on. It's 12-6 Bulldogs, 3.5 in the first. Mason McKenzie to run the offense. Stutter step, blows into the lane, stops, 8-foot jumper over top of Hendrickson. Good work by Mason McKenzie on the stutter step and the score. Both teams starting to fill it up with some nice mid-range action, especially from Caledonia. Early on, they've gotten almost all their offensive looks out of the mid-range. Tyson Mann, right wing for the Bulldogs, defended by Mason McKenzie. We've heard that before between these two, one way or the other. Faced up in the fall. Top of the key, Regnerus throws it 2 hands left corner for Stockwell. Up fake, dribble drive, hard pass, right corner. Heckman with space, high arcing 3. No good front rim, leaping rebound to Holt. He knocks it out of bounds. It'll stay with the Bulldogs along the baseline. Googans back in. DeHorn will take a seat. 2:48 first quarter, 12-8 Grandville. The Bulldogs baseline left inbound underneath the offensive hoop coming up. It'll be Tyson Mann to trigger. Had 25 points on Friday night. Mann peering in right here. With one hand, lobs it all the way up top for Stockwell. Poked away from Stockwell into the backcourt by Greenfield. And Stockwell reset the basketball. 2-hand feed over the timeline left side to Hendrickson, who will run the offense. Calls for a screen, gets it here, and denies it from Regnerus. Enter the lane, kicks up top for Stockwell. Jab step, runner in the lane, right-hand shot, good. Reaching around Greenfield on the defense. Nice play there by Stockwell. He's got 5 early on. It's 14-8 Bulldogs. 2:22 to go. McKenzie blows in the lane. Jump stop. Off balance. Right-footed shot. Will not go. Rolls out. Rebound down to Tyson Mann of the Bulldogs. Mann right up the middle of the floor. Blows in on McKenzie. Step back shot. Good. But a travel is called on the step back. Caledonia takes over. Ryder Haight checks in. Logan Stockwell takes a seat for the Bulldogs. 2:10 to go first quarter, 14-8 Bulldogs. Home white uniforms right to left. Here come the Fighting Scots of Caledonia. It says Fighting Scots on either side of the number on the front of that white uniform. Elijah Holt to run the offense. 2-hand feed to VanderWoude, who's back out there right wing. Give it to Googans, top of the key. Googans blowing into the shoulder. Fading shot, blocked by Regnerus. Chased down in the corner by Ryder Haight. First block of the game for Cam Regnerus. Haight to run up the right side of the floor. Defended by VanderWoude as he got right corner of the ball. Stops, feeds right block to Heckman. Heckman, fake pass, gave a shoulder, turns in the lane. Fader over top of the defender, just does a 360 and rolls out. Holt the rebound, Caledonia to run with it. Final 140. Holt all the way to the basket. Leaning shot, blocked away. I think we'll give it to Tyson Mann. Both he and Regnerus got a hand on it, out of bounds. It'll stay with Caledonia. Baseline right inbound coming up. Colin Highbore in for the right wing to VanderWoude. VanderWoude gets screen set from Googans. Goes around at top of the key. Give and go on to Googans. Driving into the lane. Nearly stripped to the basketball by Mann. 2-hand force shot. Will not go. He gets his own put back in with 2 hands. Sets it in off the glass. Googans able to get 2 more. 14-10. Caledonia's closed it back within 4 right here to the final 120 of the first quarter. Hendrickson, defended by Greenfield, feeds right wing to Ryder Haight. Haight back up top with 2 hands to Regnerus. 2-hand Chest-to-chest pass left wing on to Hendrickson, who will back it out. Screen from Regnerus, so go around it. Hendrickson drives in the lane, dump pass onto a charging Regnerus, goes up, clutches, and lays it in with two hands off the window. 16-10 Grandville. Good work by Regnerus. He's got 4 off a nice feed from Hendrickson. Final 50 seconds. Greenfield down the left side of the lane. Tough reaching layup around. Hendrickson falls short. Rebound down to Tyson Mann, who's going to push the pace. Mann all the way in the lane. Euro step, reverse layup over top of the defender. Too strong. Chase to the rebound. Regnerus has got it. They swing around top of the key to Hendrickson, working the pivot foot. Enters the lane into a turning Regnerus. Left-hand hook shot over top of Guggens. No. Rebound. Put back. Yes. Regnerus with 6. Grandville right back up 8 as they go on a quick 4-0 run as Cam Regnerus leads the way with those 4. Final 20 seconds of the first. Caledonia looks like they'll hold for the final shot right here. Elijah Holt wiping the bottom of his shoes. Loosely watching him defensively is Tyson Mann, angling to the right side of the floor. Final 10 seconds. Holt gets a screen set from Guggens, denies it, goes right side, charging into the lane, throws it across left corner. Greenfield launches a 3, late closeout. Hendrickson shot no good. Rebound Guggens, put back no, and that'll do it for the first frame. Good start for the Bulldogs, both ends of the floor. Grandville leads 18-10 over Caledonia after the first. We'll be right back here from Caledonia.
Bowling is a great time that combines great friends, football, and bowling. Compete against your friends or family, throwing a football at 10 real bowling pins. You can bring in your own food, or they have a pair of 45-foot bars featuring soft drinks and adult beverages. Visit foldingwarehouse.com, Grand Rapids, to reserve your lanes.
Founded in 1969, J&H Family Stores has grown from a single tank truck to over 50 convenience store locations in West Michigan. Our locations offer a variety of fuel options ranging from Exxon, Mobil, Marathon, and Citgo. At many of our stores, you'll also be pleased to find a Tim Hortons or Subway. Find the location near you by visiting myjhfamilystores.com. There's one in your neighborhood.
And welcome back to Caledonia. Nate Dreyer with you. Second quarter on deck, 18-10. Granville leads after the first frame of play. Big night, of course, around the OK Red. I know Hudsonville West out tonight. I think the game a lot of people have their eyes on is going to be Rockford East Kenwood. Rockford 18-6, the lead after 1 over EK. So certainly something to keep your eye on right there in the constant chase for the top spot in the OK Red. Left to right across the radio dial, the Bulldogs in the traveling maroon uniforms will get the basketball to start the second frame of play. Caledonia will set things up in a half-court defense right here. Quentin Hendrickson working top of the key. Swings left wing to Ryder Haight. Haight down left elbow to Regnerus. He'll turn the back. He's got the matchup on Guggens. Exit pass left wing, Highbore. Swung around to Tyson Mann right wing. Mann dump pass right block. Regnerus spins. Left-hand floater over top of a pair of defenders is good. Cam Regnerus starting to eat for the Bulldogs as they take a 20-10 lead. Greenfield, the basketball for Caledonia. Handoff to Guggens, top of the key. Takes it into the basket, a bit of a misdirection play, and Guggens able to score. He's got 6 as the Bulldog defense able to give him a lane to the basket. 20-12 the score with 7:20 to go in the second quarter. Hendrickson, left side of the lane, no-look feed, right wing, catch and shoot 3. Highbore, right down the hatch, good. Turns the net inside, out the sophomore a triple. Back-to-back games, he's hit from deep. 23-12, Bulldogs by 11 for their largest lead of the game. Maddox Greenfield, right wing, bounces around to Guggens' screen, goes up the middle of the floor, stops free throw line, kick pass right corner for a driving VanderWoude. VanderWoude fouled baseline by Ryder Haight. That is our first foul of the basketball game. And it's on Ryder Haight in the Bulldogs. Baseline right, inbound coming up for Greenfield. It'll be Hungerford coming in here for the Dogs. Tyson Mann gets the rest. Skip pass into the right wing to VanderWoude. VanderWoude defended by Hungerford. Screen from Guggens, goes around it to the free throw line. Stops at the Cal logo just in front of the free throw line does VanderWoude. Handoff right elbow to a bouncing Guggens. Guggens jump pass right corner, swung around up top for Mason McKenzie. McKenzie drives, stops right block, feeds up top, poked and stolen away by Hungerford. Good job by Hendrickson to get the hand in there. He'll get the basketball back, sprinting down the floor. Left corner on a Haight. Triple try. Falls short off the front rim. Rebound down to VanderWoude and Caledonia. 6.5 to go second quarter, 23-12 Bulldogs. VanderWoude blowing into the lane, fouled right elbow. I think they're going to get Ryder Haight again on the grab right there. Actually, they will get Drew Hungerford with his first foul of the contest. So right away, back-to-back fouls now on the Bulldogs. Baseline right infield. Maddox baseline right inbound. Max Greenfield to throw this one in for the Scots. Home white uniforms for Caledonia. Tries to feed it for Mason McKenzie. Some miscommunication. It rolls nearly into the backcourt where Jaden Googans runs in front of the scorer's table to bounce the basketball and start with it. Googans blows into the lane, stops free throw line, hands off for a curling VanderWoude to the basket. Right-hand shot, reaching around a defender. Good off the glass, and a foul. Through the contact. Nice job by Kyan VanderWoude to score right there, and he'll get his team back within single digits, 23-14. Third foul on the Bulldogs, and that foul is on Drew Hungerford, his second since he has come out for the Bulldogs. Nate Summers will check in as Hungerford in those 2 fouls has to take a seat. Greenfield takes a seat for Caledonia as Elijah Holt comes on in his place. Of course, Coach Young normally will sit guys for the remainder, just about the remainder of the half when they pick up that second foul. VanderWoude, lanky 6'4" guard, goes to work at the line. Right foot just very slightly in front of the left. Free throw rattles out, no good. Rebound poked out of bounds by a scrum of players. Last touch by Caledonia. Grandville gets the basketball, and the Scots will set up a full court press right here. Scott's going with a man-to-man full court press. Left to right, Summers to inbound here from the far side. Got into Ryder Haight far side on to Summers. Summers, one dribble, throws right side to Hendrickson. Hendrickson defended by Mason McKenzie behind the back dribble. McKenzie reaches in, and a foul is called as he poked the ball away from Hendrickson. First foul of the game on the Scots and McKenzie. After the rest, Tyson Mann is up. Tyson Mann is in for the Bulldogs as Ryder Haight will take a seat. From around center court, just in the back court, right side, it will be Summers to throw it in right here. The full court man pressure staying on. Thrown in the backcourt to Hendrickson. Defended by Elijah Holt. Crossover, blowing over the timeline is Hendrickson. Put the ball on the floor, regathers. Jump pass left side on the exit to Summers. Summers bounces down, short left corner to Regneris. Jabs, 2-hand feed up top. Highbore with space, 3, gone! Couple of triples for Colin Highbore, and the Bulldogs extend it back to double cutoff. Right block, feeds out left wing for a reaching VanderWoude. VanderWoude around a Guggen screen to the top of the key. Good job by Summers to stay with him. VanderWoude blows down the right side. 2-hand shot, no good. Offensive foul called. Summers took the contact. 2 fouls on either team. Grandville basketball, 5.5 to go, second quarter. 26-14 Dogs. Chance to double them up or more on this next possession. Regneris takes a seat. Heckman will come in his place for the Bulldogs. That foul is foul number 1 on VanderWoude. And as I mentioned, the second on the team. Full court pressure is on. Inbound to Hendrickson. Left-hand dribble. Stopped just in front of the timeline. Defended by Holt. Now blows over it with a behind-the-back dribble. Hendrickson rocking the ball low. Hand off on the weave for Tyson Mann. Top of the key. Mann 2-hand feed left wing for Highbore. Up fake. Starts to dribble. Give it back up top with 2 hands to Tyson Mann. Mann spins into the lane. Lost the handle. Underhand feed top of the key to Summers. Swung right wing Hendrickson. He'll mark out the screen. See that he gets set by Heckman. Hendrickson. Left elbow, feed to the corner, poked into the bench by a reaching Kyan VanderWoude. 5:04 second quarter, 26-14 Bulldogs. From in front of the Caledonia bench, Summers to throw it in here for the Dogs in the traveling maroon uniforms. Grandville and script across the chest. Lobs it left elbow to a leaping Heckman. Starts to dribble, spins in the lane, gave a shimmy, right corner, catch and shoot 3, Highbore, rattles out harshly, leaping rebound down to Mason McKenzie. He'll run the offense. McKenzie right to left, blowing over the timeline, keeping a right-hand dribble, directing some traffic, defended by Hendrickson down the left side. 2-hand push pass left corner for DeHorn. DeHorn drives, nice low feed onto Sanders, let the defender sling by, 2-hand feed off the window, good, and a foul. So Sanders a chance to go to the line for the 3-point play, the old-fashioned way right here. Foul is on Highbore, the sophomore, his first, team's 4th on the Bulldogs. 10-point game, chance to get it back within single digits here for Theron Sanders at the line. Sanders, the critical linebacker, played some H-back as well in the fall for the state runner-up Fighting Scots unit. Free throw off the connector, no good. Rebound to a leaping Tyson Mann, who will blow it over the timeline as the McKenzie pressure pulls off. Mann loosely dribbling top of the key, crossing over after 25 points. Tyson has not found the score sheet so far in this contest. Up top from Highbore to Hendrickson. Hendrickson dribble drive into the lane, tough 2-hand shot, no good as it rattles out, but a foul called through the contact, and that'll send the Bulldogs to the line for the first time in this one with Quentin Hendrickson. Foul is on to Horn, his first, team's 3rd, 26-16, and Hendrickson to the line. He missed a couple free throws down the stretch against West Ottawa at the end of that game. But the Bulldog floor general goes to work and buries the first. First points of the game for Quentin. Cam Regneris set to check in for the Bulldogs in just a moment right here. Hendrickson, number 2 in maroon. Maroon short sleeves underneath the uniform. 2 dribbles, bends the knees, flicks it towards the basket, rattles out. Leaping rebound down to VanderWoude, and Caledonia will push the pace. Kyan VanderWoude, number 3 in white, stops left elbow, handoff for DeHorn. DeHorn, angle drive into the lane, on the floor, stolen by Tyson Mann, able to rip the loose basketball away. Crossover dribble over the timeline for Tyson. 4:09 to go, second quarter, Bulldogs by 11. Mann feeds to Heckman, got it back, bounces around a screen. Mann drives, pull-up shot, right elbow. Strong, no off the connector. Second effort rebound, Mason McKenzie. McKenzie angles right to left over the timeline. Throws right wing to Elijah Holt. Holt drives into the lane. Reverse layup around Tyson Mann. Strong off the window. Rebound Corbin Heckman. He'll run the offense up the right side of the floor for the Bulldogs, who lead by 11. Heckman stops right wing, defended by Sanders. Left-hand feed, top of the key, Tyson Mann. Mann around the screen, low dribbles. Feeds top of the key to Heckman. Swung left corner, Hendrickson. Looks at the basket, thought about the triple. Now feeds left block to Heckman. Up top for Summers. Summers, angle drive, jump stop. Right-hand floater, over top of the defender, no. Rebound on the floor, and second effort, it came on to VanderWoude. Caledonia again to run. Kyan VanderWoude up the middle of the floor to the basket. Reaching rebound, strong. Rebound down to Highboard. Bulldogs to run with Hendrickson. Up the middle of the floor, Hendrickson. Toes the line, thought about the 3. Handoff, driving Summers. Ball knocked away from behind on the floor. Sanders has it. Exit pass onto a sprinting Mason McKenzie. McKenzie up the middle of the floor. A foul is called as Heckman reached on him. He thought he only got the basketball, but that will now be finally a break and a breather with the speed that this thing was moving at. Corbin Raffler checks in for the first time today, along with Jaden Googans. That was the 15th foul on the Bulldogs and the first on Corbin Heckman. Ryder Haight checks in. Nate Summers checks out for the Bulldogs. Baseline right inbound. Mason McKenzie stands on the end in Caledonia. He will throw this one in with Haight jumping to defend the inbound. Lobs down to Sanders. In rhythm floater, no good. Strong off the window and off the front rim. Rebound taken down by a sprinting Ryder Haight to the right wing. He'll settle it down there. Feeds with the left hand to Heckman. Swing pass left corner. Highboard down left block to Regneris. Gave a shoulder. Poked and stolen away nicely by Theron Sanders. Caledonia the basketball. Bulldogs by 11. 27-16 with 2:46 to go in the second quarter. Mason McKenzie crossing into the lane. Left corner for Googans. Defended by arms spread wide Cam Regneris. Googans blows into the lane, pulls off free throw line, feeds left wing VanderWoude. VanderWoude bounces around a screen, give back onto Googans, fakes a 3 on the up fake, drives the lane, left-hand shot, blocked Regneris as he swats over top of him. The rebound down to Tyson Mann and the Bulldogs to run. Mann feeds left wing to Haight, thinks about the 3, steps around McKenzie, kicks it top of the key, Tyson Mann. Mann starting the dribble. Googans defending him. Blows down the right side of the lane. Underhand handoff right wing for Haight. Jabs and starts the dribble and hands off to his right side to Tyson Mann. Mann reaches around a defender. Finds Regneris. Regneris able to turn away from VanderWoude, who was on the floor, and lay one in nicely with 2 hands. Regneris into double digits, and the Bulldogs lead 29-16. Final 2 minutes, second quarter. VanderWoude, top of the key. Jump pass stolen straight away by a reaching Tyson Mann who ripped it away. He'll go one-on-one down the floor. Right-hand layup strong. Rebound poked around, taken by Tyson Mann, but he stepped out of bounds along the baseline, and Caledonia takes the ball. What a steal by Tyson. Just can't quite get the finish as he remains off the score sheet after 25 on Friday night. Right to left, home white jerseys. Caledonia will take the basketball here with 1:47 in the second quarter, 29-16. Scott Bates Farmers Insurance Agency. Centennial Securities, our presenting sponsor. Stay tuned for the Centennial Securities halftime show. Coming up in just a few moments in this one. The Bulldogs lead 29-16. Top of the key, Elijah Holt off of VanderWoude's feed. Drives down the right side of the lane. Right-hand shot emphatically blocked by Cam Regneris with the right. Rebound down to a sprinting Corbin Heckman down the floor. He'll turn the back at the right block. Spinning into the lane. Right-hand hook shot over top of the defender. Somehow rattles out. VanderWoude the rebound. 1:15 second quarter. 29-16 Bulldogs. Stockwell back on the floor, Crouch defending VanderWoude. VanderWoude drives right side, spin move, feeds free throw line. Googans just from beyond the free throw line, tees up a long 2 and buries it. Final minute of the second, 29-18, Grandville by 11. Tyson Mann crossover dribble, defended by Elijah Holt, top of the key. Mann going to work again, feeds with 2 hands, left corner, Stockwell launches a 3, over top of VanderWoude, no good, front rim. Rebound on to Holt. He'll run with it. Holt up the middle of the floor. Stops free throw line. Hands out for VanderWoude. Got it back right corner. Holt down right block to a turning Googans. Googans backs. Jump pass. Left corner. Sanders with space. 3 over top of a late closeout from Regneris. Right down the hatch. Good 5 points for Theron Sanders. 29-21. They're within 8. Tyson Mann over the timeline, stops. Coach Young wants a timeout. He'll get a timeout out of that. 23.4 in the second quarter, 29-21 Grandville. The Grand Rapids Sports Hall of Fame celebrates the city's rich sports history by honoring prominent West Michigan athletes and those who have contributed greatly to sports on a local, state, or national level. The GRS also presents annual events in support of West Michigan athletics and raises funds to support local youth organizations and charities. Follow the Grand Rapids Sports Hall of Fame on Facebook and check out the pictures and biographies of all 181 inductees at GRSHOF.com. Game reset, 23.4 seconds to go in the second quarter. Grandville 29, Caledonia 21. Leading scorer for all teams right now is Cam Regnerus. He has 10. Corbin Heckman with 7. Colin Hybor, a pair of triples for the Bulldogs, with 6. Guggens leads the way offensively for the Scots with 8. VanderWoude has 4. And Theron Sanders has 5. Quentin Hendrickson back on the floor for the Bulldogs. Feeds free throw line to Regnerus. Handoff Heckman. Swung right corner for Hendrickson. Hendrickson turns the back into the right wing, defended by Holt. Faked left, drives right, bounces around a screen, takes it out behind the arc, feeds right side to Stockwell. Catch and shoot 3, misses everything short with 6 seconds. Feed down the left side of the floor to Holt. He looks up at the clock. He feeds right side to McKenzie. Step back 3 at the buzzer. No good. Front rim, the late defense from Tyson Mann. And we've reached halftime. 29-21 at the break. Caledonia, a bit of a late charge from them, able to close a gap that was double digits at points throughout the second quarter of play for Grandville. And welcome in here to our Centennial Securities halftime show. Nate Dreyer with you. Scott's running off the floor from behind me. An interesting first half of play for certain. Grandville defense does what the Grandville defense does. They give up just 21 in the first half. But you also see Caledonia defensively, of course, a solid team, as they're able to hold the Bulldogs to 29 despite some good three-point shooting for the Bulldogs. I think the main storyline, or one of the main storylines, of course, Corbin Hackman, how hot he started the game. But Colin Hybor, a couple of triples, good for the Bulldogs as well. They can get him continuously scoring. And we mentioned in the Bates Agency pregame show, Cam Regnerus has to probably find that next level offensively if the team is going to find their next level on both ends of the floor, and Regnerus able to lead all scorers with 10 at the break, certainly doing a little bit of that right now. All right, lots to get to. Be right back here on the Centennial Securities halftime show. Grandville 29, Caledonia 21 at the halftime break.
Jerry opened the letter. An eviction notice? He and his family couldn't bear to move again. It was warm and they had plenty of space for their acorns. Anxiety took a hold of him. Then suddenly,
you've got squirrels in your engine and they chew through the wiring.
And it was covered, thanks to a farmer's agent. Engine Bay Squatters, May 23rd, 2015. Talk to farmers. We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Contact the Scott Bates Agency today at 616-531-3441. Your local farmer's agent who helps you plan for the unexpected.
I'm Randy Hansen, president of Centennial Securities. I've heard it said that professional coaches measure success in rings, college coaches measure success in championships, and high school coaches measure it in titles. But youth coaches measure success in smiles. At Centennial Securities, we're like the youth coach. Our success is measured by the smiles on the faces of our satisfied clients. If you're a Centennial Securities customer, you know what I mean. If you're not, isn't it about time?
Member SIPC and FINRA.
Michigan Sports Academies offers quality youth sports in Grand Rapids, Holland, and Muskegon. With a wide variety of programming, MSA has something for new athletes who are just starting out to experienced athletes looking to take their game to the next level. Year-round programming is offered in basketball, lacrosse, soccer, and volleyball. Your athlete will love the quality of instruction from experienced coaches and state-of-the-art facilities conveniently located in Grand Rapids and along the lakeshore. Check us out at MichiganSportsAcademies.com.
Don't just find yourself, make yourself. Start businesses, build bridges, save lives, raise a whole city. This is your future, so take it and move all of us forward.
And welcome back, everyone, to Caledonia. Nate Dreyer with you here on our Centennial Securities halftime show. Grandville leading Caledonia at the break, 29-21. Interesting first half. Both teams shoot the ball pretty well in different ways. I mean, first off, Grandville, of course, grinding defensively able to force Caledonia into some bad shots. But when they were able to get some better looks, especially some good mid-range looks, Caledonia able to knock those down. It was, of course, the grinding game that the score being a little bit lower doesn't fully show, I think, where some of the scoring was for Grandville. They shoot the ball very well from three. Also, great play inside from Heckman and especially Regneris, who leads the Bulldogs in scoring with 10. Let's go over some scoring leaders right now. At the break, Cam Regneris leads all scorers with 10 for the Bulldogs. Corbin Heckman has 7. Calvin Highbore has 6. 5 for Logan Stockwell. And Quentin Hendrickson has 1 for the Bulldogs. Of course, notably in that, Tyson Mann held off the score sheet, as I kind of mentioned a couple times because notable, held off the score sheet after he scored 25 last time out for the Bulldogs. So it shows the balancedness of this Grandville offense that can come, and a lot of different guys can lead the way when needed for the Bulldogs offensively. Jaden Guggens leads the way offensively for Caledonia. He comes up with 8 points. Kyan VanderWoude has 4. Elijah Holt with a couple of points. Mason McKenzie also has 2. And Theron Sanders, after the last bucket of the half, his triple in the corner, has 5. And Grandville, all after that, adds up to a 5-point lead for the Bulldogs. So Grandville looking to try to get to 5-2 overall in the year and go 2-0 in the OK Red. By the way, at the half, saw a pretty dominant game as it was 30-13, it looked like at the half, with a lead for Rockford over East Kentwood. And that one, of course, Brock Conkle with Michigan Sports Radio is there tonight with that contest as well, so you can take a look at that. Interesting to see where this East Kentwood team in particular is. First off, the Rockford team looking to kind of rebound after that tough loss against Muskegon. You know, they kind of struggle. They lose, and then, of course, also to Grand Haven. Now they're looking to get back in there, and all of a sudden, you're looking at how things are going tonight. Well, maybe Granville's going to be, if Granville wins this game, goes 2-0, they might have a chance to be atop the OK Red, based on what happens elsewhere. Of course, a lot going on early on, but it's all part of this early season jockeying, and the OK Red is so tough. Really, you look at it, 1 through 8, depending on how you may argue it, 1 through 8, maybe at least for sure 1 through 6, can beat each other on any given night, I would say. So getting a chance to win a couple games early, like the Bulldogs have a chance to, and then even if you stretch that into beating a good East Kentwood team or competing with them on Friday, I think it's all very critical in how the Bulldogs are trying to set up the early part of the season. Again, we will have coverage Friday night from Vanderslice Gymnasium, our first doubleheader of the season and of the year, of course, from Vanderslice Gymnasium. Girls game starts with about a 6 o'clock tip-off. We're on there with Scott Bates Farmers Insurance Agents pregame show at 5:30 from that one. And the boys, of course, should tip off right around 7:30 or so based on when we get things underway. And again, should be on the NFHS network. We'll plug in there. I think we potentially had some issues, I heard, last time with our NFHS feed, and our audio may have not come through. So we will double-check those things and make sure that the feed's up and working. I know also Grandville does a good YouTube broadcast with their students as well, that at least will have video on the game. I think that game's going on for the girls. You're probably checking on with both of us maybe this evening. A lot still to get to. Grandville leading Caledonia 29-21 at the half. This is the Centennial Securities halftime show. Let's step aside one more time. When we come back, let's get into some second half keys, some of the things to expect. Honestly, a lot of the second half keys will be carryovers from the first half keys, including we didn't see any of the 1-2-2 trap. We saw some man pressure out of Caledonia, didn't see the 1-2-2 trap. Will we maybe see that utilized in the three-quarter court in the second half? Will be interesting to see. This Caledonia team not quite as deep as they've been in years past in terms of total numbers, and also they go about 8 deep, so they don't want to run as much as past Caledonia teams maybe do with some of the trapping, the full-court defense. All of that storylines we'll get to in just a minute. Grandville leads by 8 at the half. We'll be right back here from Caledonia.
Can you name the 10 winners of the Nobel Peace Prize or the last 5 Miss Americas? The point is the applause dies and the achievements are forgotten. But can you name 3 friends who helped you through tough times or teachers who encouraged you in school? We remember those who make a difference in our lives. I'm Randy Hansen, president of Centennial Securities. What matters to us are the personal relationships we have with our clients, helping them build a secure financial future. As a Centennial Securities customer, you know what I mean. If you're not, isn't it about time?
Member SIPC and FINRA.
Daniel the deer danced everywhere. He pranced through fields and jigged through rivers. Then he saw it. What a stage! A place no deer had dared dance before. The hood of a brand new car. and the car was covered, thanks to Farmers Insurance. Deer Dance Floor, December 1st, 2014. Talk to a Farmers agent. We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Contact the Scott Bates Agency today, 616-531-3441. A proud supporter of MichiganGameNight.com.
Need to replace that worn-out carpet or floor? Floor Coverings International makes it easy. They bring their mobile showroom to you. Save yourself the trip and gas shopping around. See a wide selection of carpet, hardwood, laminate, and vinyl in the lighting of your own home. Go to floorcoveringsinternational.com today for your free consultation. Work with one team for a hassle-free experience from the quote to installation. And each Floor Coverings International business is independently owned and operated, so they are local business owners in our community. Floor Coverings International, the flooring store at your door.
Are you looking for a new career? Aetna Supply is hiring. Aetna Supply is Michigan's #1 plumber wholesaler, servicing local customers for over 50 years. They offer great benefits, a 401k with company match, quarterly bonuses, and no Sundays. Once again, check them out at aetnasupply.com/careers or click on their logo on the Michigan Sports Radio homepage.
And welcome back here to Game Night on Michigan Sports Radio. Nate Dreyer with you. Second half warm-ups underway. We're inside the final minute until we get this thing underway. Of course, just kind of mentioned it, I think, keys to the second half. We're watching for that Caledonia trap. We're watching for how Coach Visser may change up his defensive looks for Grandville. It's looking to continue to ride Cam Regnerus. If he can continue to look as good as he did in the post offensive with some of the moves he's been showing off, giving the shoulders, giving the fakes, and able to score the basketball very effectively, that's going to be very, very good news for this Bulldogs attack. Also, let's get number 0 for the Bulldogs. Should probably have more than 0 points. I think Tyson Mann, you can probably expect a little bit of an offensive explosion. So kind of watch for those two things. Balanced scoring for both teams. Can the defense turn into offense for Caledonia? Can Grandville continue to get their top-end guys going? Or maybe the guys that aren't going yet, get them going in the second half. All right, time to go. Thanks for tuning into the Centennial Securities halftime show. The Bulldogs lead by 8 after the end of the first half. Caledonia home white uniforms, numbers in purple, fighting Scots on the chest, as the word fighting above, word Scots below, also in purple, purple and gold trimming down the side. Grandville, traveling maroon uniforms, Grandville and numbering both in gray across the chest and black and gray trimming down the side for the Bulldogs. Left to right, Caledonia gets the ball to start the second half. Same lineups that open the game, open the second frame, or second 2 frames of play. Mason McKenzie, right wing with the basketball, defended by Quentin Hendrickson. Jabs, kicks top of the key to DeHorn. Handoff for McKenzie into a trap, feeding for DeHorn, out of his reach, out of bounds, can't save it. Grandville basketball. Good start defensively by the Bulldogs. They brought a bit of pressure and a bit of a trap right there in McKenzie, and he'll eventually turn it over trying to feed the cutting DeHorn. First 20 seconds off the third quarter clock. Hendrickson to the top of the key, feeds onto a cutting Tyson Mann. Mann to the basket, reverse layup, blocked by DeHorn. Mann races to the basketball, steps out of bounds along the baseline, and Caledonia takes it. Right away, Coach Young draws up a touch for Mann. He just can't quite get the finish line. Kind of a tough reverse layup in the lane, but working with some speed right there. He looks back to Coach Young off a bit of coaching. Holt feeds right corner for VanderWoude, up top for McKenzie. Turns the back and spins to the left elbow. Handoff for a curling Holt. Spins in the lane. Left-hand shot around Tyson Mann. Good with the left. Good work there by Elijah Holt to get the finish off the window. 29-23. Caledonia back within 6. Throw left wing on to Stockwell for the Bulldogs. Stockwell, 2-hand feed, top of the key to Heckman. Heckman holding the ball high above his head. Hard feed right wing to Hendrickson. Bounces around a screen. Stops free throw line. Left corner Stockwell with space. Launches a 3. Good. Defense kind of closed out away from him on a bit of a mistake. And right down the middle, Stockwell has 8, able to knock down the triple. 32-23 Bulldogs. McKenzie right wing defended by Tyson Mann. Bouncing top of the key. 2-hand feed to Guggens at the elbow. Guggens fakes a long shot, starts inside, feeds it left corner. Catch and shoot 3. Mason McKenzie with space. Splash. Able to knock it down left corner. McKenzie now with 5, 32-26. The scoring and the pace of the game picking up a little bit in the second half. Tyson Mann drives. No look feed, free throw line. Regnerus turns the back. Feeds onto a cutting Hackman ball, bounced away and stolen by Elijah Holt. He'll take it over the timeline. Holt feeds left corner for DeHorn. Toes the line, launches a 3. Good! Spun it home. Back-to-back triples for Caledonia, and they close the gap within a score, 32-29. Caden DeHorn on the score sheet with a triple from the wing as he toes the line and buries it with a 360 finish. Stockwell left wing off a Hendrickson feed. 2-hand feed, top of the key, Heckman. Heckman feeds with the right hand to Hendrickson right wing. Hendrickson jabs, works down to the right corner, picks up the dribble. Feeds top of the key, Tyson Mann. Mann down right block. Regnerus, foul called on Guggens, who reaches and grabs his wrist on the defense. First foul of the half. First on Guggens, 32-29, Caledonia, or Grandville over Caledonia. 5:49 in the third. Tyson Mann, baseline right, inbound, coming up right here. Mann lobs right elbow, Hendrickson. Hendrickson feeds down left block for Regnerus, turns, floater good. Nice touch from Cam Regnerus over top of the defender, able to score with a nice little finger touch inside. Mason McKenzie, stutter step, feeds for Guggens, spins in the lane, travel called on the spin move. Grandville basketball, 5.5 to go, third quarter, 34-29 Bulldogs. They'll move right to left here. Quinn Hendrickson, the basketball, defended by a crouched Holt over the timeline, feeds right wing to Tyson Mann. Mann stops right wing, feeds up top for Regnerus. Regnerus, two-hand overhead pass left wing to Hendrickson. Gets a screen, feeds left corner. He'll kick it around right corner for Stockwell. Stockwell pass to the wing, blocked straight back to him by McKenzie. Jump pass hard into the stands, out of bounds, and that will be Caledonia basketball. 5:11 to go, third quarter, 34-29. Grandville lead. Scott's the basketball. Mason McKenzie to run the offense. So actually now he'll give it on to Elijah Holt to take up the floor. Bulldogs wait in their half-court defense. Over the Caledonia Fighting Scott logo, newly painted, newly refinished floor surface this year at Caledonia as Holt goes over it. Feeds top of the key. McKenzie, three. Rattles out, no good. Leaping rebound down to Stockwell. Stockwell up the middle of the floor, angling onto the free throw, or onto the top of the key. Feeds left side to Hendrickson, dumps it off just to his left side to Stockwell. Up fake, starts the dribble. Kicks down left block to Regnerus. Turns the back on Guggens. Dump pass. Power dribble. Heckman able to get free and score. Nice work using the power dribble to draw the defense away, and Heckman scores off the window, 36-29. 4.5 to go, third quarter. The Bulldog lead is up 2-7. Holt feeds left side. Guggens with space. Launches a three over top of Regnerus. Good. Guggens with 11. Tyson Mann the basketball, defended by Mason McKenzie right wing. Man defense for both teams. Tyson Mann drives, floater in the lane, too strong. Rebound, Caden DeHorn, on to McKenzie to run. Grandville leads by 4. McKenzie kicks right corner. Holt with space, launches a three. Rolls out, couldn't get the touch on that one. Is at 360s and will not go. Tyson Mann with the basketball. Right to left over the timeline. Here's Mann with a right-hand dribble working the ball. Defended by McKenzie, top of the key. 3:53 to go, third quarter. Bulldogs by 4. Dump pass. Stockwell down to Regnerus. Hits the cutting Heckman. Shot will not go. Put back strong as well, but a foul called on the putback, and Corbin Heckman will go to the line for a couple right here. Nice work there by Regnerus to feed him. Heckman can't finish, but he's able to work in the lane, and on the second effort, will go to the line. Some may call it a third effort. He will go to the line and shoot a couple. Foul is on Guggens, his second. Free throw, high arcing, no good. Of course, that was the real issue for the Bulldogs in the early part of the season, the foul shooting. They were better against West Ottawa. Still not great, sub 70%. Stockwell checks out for the Bulldogs as Hybor comes in. DeHorn takes a seat for West Ottawa. Sanders is in. Also Greenfield is in as VanderWoude takes a seat. One more at the line for Heckman. Bends the knees, right-hand free throw. That one splashes down good. 10 points for Corbin Heckman. He's in the double digits, and the Bulldogs lead by 5, 37-32. 3:40 to go, third quarter. Elijah Holt, the ball top of the key, defended by Tyson Mann. Bounces around a screen. Mann stays with him down the left side of the lane. Feeds left corner for Greenfield. Hesitates, drives baseline. Hard whipping reverse layup, short rebound, ripped down and ripped out of there by Heckman. On to Hendrickson, throws over the timeline. Tyson Mann bounces to the corner. Pull up three over top of McKenzie. No good. Rebound to Greenfield. They will call a foul on Colin Hybor, who reached and ripped the ball away from him. Caledonia ball, that's the second foul on Hybor, and the first of the Bulldogs of the half. 3:21 to go, third quarter, 37-32. Grandville lead, left to right, Caledonia. Home white uniforms, the basketball. It'll be Elijah Holt to run the offense. He'll sprint it over the timeline and stop top of the key. Holt drives down, feeds right corner for Guggens. Guggens drives, cut off right block by Regnerus, turns the shoulder, reaching layup Guggens, good. Able to get it around Regnerus and score. Caledonia within a score, 37-34, final 3 minutes of the third. Game reminding you a little bit of last year's contest here at Caledonia. It was kind of a late closing win for the Bulldogs. Pass down to Heckman at the right block. Heckman turns, right-hand shot over top of Sanders is good. Able to hook it in off the window. Corbin Heckman with 12. What a night for the Bulldog Jr. 2:40 to go in the third. Bulldogs 34, Caledonia 30, Grandville 39, Caledonia 34. Right corner, Holt trap, pass blocked out of bounds, stays with Caledonia as Hendrickson pushed that one out. 2.5 to go third quarter, and a timeout actually is going to be awarded on the floor. Not sure if it was before or after that ball was knocked out of bounds, but Coach Visser does get a timeout in. Grandville by 5. We'll be right back here in the third quarter.
Looking for a great place to buy a used truck or car? Check out Extreme Truck and Auto Center, located at 1098 O'Malley Drive in Coopersville. They have a huge selection of trucks, cars, vans, and SUVs. Stop by their lot or give them a call at 616-384-3777. You can check out their inventory at xtacenter.com.
Welcome back to Caledonia. Nate Dreyer with you. Here, Bulldogs lead 39-34, 2.5 to go third quarter. Baseline or corner inbound. Mason McKenzie to throw it in here for the Scots. They trail by 5. McKenzie, starring quarterback, throws it in right wing to Elijah Holt. Holt drives, cut off right elbow, kicks up top for Googans. Googans thinks about the 3, now hands off on the curl to Mason McKenzie. McKenzie drives down the left side, hand-checking foul on Quentin Hendrickson on the reach. 2:23 to go third quarter, 39-34, Grandville. DeHorn and VanderWoude in for Caledonia. Haight in for the Bulldogs. Tyson Mann takes a seat. Mason McKenzie takes a seat. Jaden Googans takes a seat. Caledonia will throw this one in from the left side, just in front of their bench. VanderWoude back on the floor will be the one to lob it in. He gets it top of the key to Holt. Holt jump pass right corner to VanderWoude. VanderWoude spins past Ryder Haight. Right hand layup. Good work. Nice little lay-in from Kyan VanderWoude scores, and the Scots back within a score, 39-36, 2:06 in the third quarter. Left block, Cam Regneris off a feed, kicks up top to Haight. It's out over leaping Haight's reach, taken by Holt to the basket, left-hand layup, good. Caledonia within 1. Elijah Holt was 6 off the steal, and the mistake there from Regneris on the high pass, 39-38 Grandville, 1:49 third quarter. Hendrickson blows into the lane, floater over top of a pair of defenders, high off the window, no good. Rebound on Elijah Holt. He's going to run with it. Right corner, VanderWoude toes the line, thinks about the 3, drives the basket, able to get away from Regneris. Right hand layup, good. Caledonia their first lead, 40-39. 1.5 to go third quarter. Immediately Tyson Mann up from the Bulldog bench. The Scots have come back. Left wing to Ryder Haight, dumps left block. Cam Regneris turns the back into a double team. Regneris feeds right side, catch and shoot 3. Hendrickson, yes, that one down the hatch. Good timeout, Caledonia. 1:15 to go third quarter. Big triple from Hendrickson to answer, and the Bulldogs go back on top. The Grand Rapids Sports Hall of Fame celebrates the city's rich sports history by honoring prominent West Michigan athletes and those who have contributed greatly to sports on a local, state, or national level. The GRS HOF also presents annual events in support of West Michigan athletics and raises funds to support local youth organizations and charities. Follow the Grand Rapids Sports Hall of Fame on Facebook and check out pictures and biographies of all 181 inductees at GRSHOF.com. Final minute 15, third quarter. 42-40. Grandville back on top after the Quentin Hendrickson triple from the wing. And thanks, of course, to the Scott Bates Farmers Insurance Agency and Centennial Securities, are two presenting sponsors of the game night. You see scrolling across the screen. Just also make sure you follow us at MI Game Night. At MI Game Night, where you can find us on Instagram, our new account there. We've got some cool content there. You can find us there, of course, on kind of our main social media channel, Twitter. You can find us, that's our handle on Facebook, and also that is our updated handle. You also can find us just Michigan Game Night on YouTube, which some may watch these feeds, or at least can go back through and watch them later on YouTube. We've got simulcast feeds along with the main Michigan Sports Radio feed on our YouTube, on our Facebook, on our Twitter. We're always on our YouTube and our Twitter, and sometimes our Facebook feed will get moved to the Michigan Sports Radio feed instead. But regardless, that is where you can find all things MI Game Night. 42-40, Grandville leads Caledonia. Theron Sanders feeds to Holt, toes the line, right wing, thinks about the 3. Now he'll start the dribble, drive in the lane, jump past Greenfield, left side, catch and shoot 3 for Greenfield, fresh on the floor. Strong off the connector, will not go. Rebound to Heckman, he'll run with it over the timeline. Heckman stops and hands off for Ryder Haight. Haight Hendrickson out there along with Tyson Mann in the backcourt. Heckman and Regnerus, the Bulldogs' bigs. Right wing, Tyson Mann off the feed, defended by Holt. Mann bouncing, throws top of the key to Regnerus, left wing to Hendrickson. Hendrickson gets a screen set by Heckman, goes around it to the free throw line, feeds back on to Heckman, thought about the three, shuffled the feet as he decided to drive instead, and Caledonia takes the basketball back over. Googins and McKenzie check in. Sanders and Greenfield, after briefly being out there, will check out. Final 35 seconds of the third quarter. Grandville by 2, 42-40. Elijah Holt backs it out, top of the key. Defended here by Tyson Mann. Caledonia scored 19 in this quarter after only scoring 21 in the first two frames. Final 16 seconds. Holt looking like he's waiting for the final shot. Mann closes in to start the 5-second clock. Holt bounces into the left wing with the basketball. Feeds top of the key to Googins. Final 8 seconds. Googins handoff. Free throw line to Holt. Jump stop up top for Googins. Googins drives around the defender. Tough floater from 18 feet. Will not go strong. Tyson Mann takes the ball. He'll try a full court shot this time at the end of the third quarter, and that one misses wide to the right. We have reached the end of the third quarter of play. 42-40. Grandville by 2 over Caledonia. Don't go anywhere. It's going to be a really fun final 8 minutes in this one. We'll be right back here from Caledonia.
The sinister cries haunted Mary through the night. Dawn neared, and still the voice tormented her. She ran towards the safety of her car, flung open the door, and a coyote had somehow gotten locked inside. But the damaged interior was covered thanks to Farmers Insurance. Coyote Carpool, August 1st, 2015. Talk to a farmer's agent. We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Contact the Scott Bates Agency today, 616-531-3441. A proud supporter of MichiganGameNight.com.
Can you identify your number one personal trait? The thing that you do better than most others? If not, this may be a good time to think this through. If you're really good at writing, then why use the phone? If you're great on the phone, why use email? If you have exceptional human relation skills, why sit back and let others lead? I'm Randy Hansen, president of Centennial Securities Company. Playing to our strengths is something we do very well at Centennial. And if you're already a customer, you know what I mean. If not, isn't it about time?
Member SIPC and FINRA.
All right, here we go. Final frame from Caledonia. Grandville by 2, 42-40 over the Scots. Hendrickson throws a right wing to Tyson Mann, and the Bulldogs in the traveling maroon uniforms go to work. They go right to left, crush the radio dial. Dump pass down to the right block to Heckman. Hesitates, feeds right corner, catch and shoot three. Tyson Mann misses everything short with some good late defense from Mason McKenzie. Holt the rebound on the run. Holt stopped right wing, feeds left wing to Googins. Googins hands off for a curling Mason McKenzie. McKenzie into the lane, poked away by Mann, but came on to VanderWoude, top of the key. VanderWoude defended by Kyan VanderWoude, the Bulldogs sophomore. Hard pass all the way across the floor to Holt. Holt quick in rhythm, gave it on to McKenzie right corner. McKenzie triples a three. That one falls short, no good. And Tyson Mann the run up off the rebound. Right wing for Highbore. Lanky sophomore curls into the lane, stops free throw line, feeds right side to Heckman, reaching pass down right block for a turning Regnerus, left-hand hook shot off the front rim short, rebound to McKenzie, throws it all the way down the floor to Holt, Holt to the basket, right-hand shot, able to evade the late block attempt from Tyson Mann. It's good, we're tied at 42, 6:56 in the fourth. So just over the first minute gone, and Caledonia has knotted things up. Highbore to the top of the key to Mann. Mann denies the screen left, drives right, pull-up shot over top of the defender. Holt no good. He's kind of forcing it right now, and VanderWoude the basketball. VanderWoude all the way to the lane. Right-hand shot falls short. Rebound down to Highbore. 6.5 to go, fourth quarter. Hendrickson to run with it off the feed. Hendrickson stops top of the key. Feeds left side Heckman. Skip pass down to the left block for Regnerus. Turns the back. Left-hand shot. Strong foul called on the Scots. Is it a shooting foul or do they get him on the floor? It's on McKenzie, and it is a shooting foul, and it will send Cam Regnerus to the line for a couple right here. Second foul on McKenzie, just a third on the team. Really, no one on either team in foul trouble whatsoever. East Kentwood has come back to lead Rockford 41-40, by the way, at the end of three. So a wild game to watch out for there as well. First free throw for Regnerus, no good. That continues to kind of be the Bulldog junior forward's Achilles heel. He struggled at the charity stripe at points this year, but unbelievable there is East Kentwood, who was trailing big at the half, rally all the way back in a wild, high-scoring third quarter. They put up like 30-plus that quarter, and they now lead Rockford in another interesting battle at the top of the OK Red. Second free throw was good for Cam Regnerus, and the Bulldogs go back on top 43-42. VanderWoude feeds to Googans. Jaden Googans drives the lane. Right-hand layup reaching around. Cam Regnerus is good. Googans with 15. Caledonia on top 44-43. Final 6 minutes. Hendrickson feeds to Haight. Haight skips it right block. Heckman turns the back. Reverse layup. Rattles out. Couldn't get the friendly touch reaching around the defender, and Googans the basketball. Up the left side of the floor. Handoff for Holt. 5:47 fourth quarter. Caledonia by 1. Holt step back move right elbow. Defended by Hendrickson. Blows around a screen. Lost the handle. Regathers free throw line. Handoff to a curling McKenzie. Drives the lane. Right hand layup. Reaching around Hendrickson is good. Largest lead of the game. It's 3 for Caledonia. 5.5 to go in the fourth. Hendrickson defended by Holt. Angles down the right side. Gives it top of the key. Heckman swung to Haight. Left corner for Hybor. Hybor dump pass. Able to get it to Regnerus. Strong. And that will send Regnerus to the line. Caledonia faithful don't love the foul call, but it's like there was a hack from my angle, which is very close along that baseline, on the wrist as he skied for the jam. So Regnerus back to work at the line. First free throw, no good, short. Tyson Mann checks in for the Bulldogs. Colin Hybor takes a seat. So Mann joins Hendrickson and Haight in the backcourt. As one more at the line for Regnerus. Too strong, missed that one. He's now 1 of 4 at the line. McKenzie the rebound. McKenzie up the middle of the floor, crosses, spins in the lane, underhand escape pass, able to find its way to VanderWoude, top of the key, defended by Tyson Mann. VanderWoude working the right-hand dribble, blows down the right side, stops, feeds free throw line to Googans. Googans dribbles down the left side of the key, turns the back with the right-hand dribble, feeds left wing onto a driving VanderWoude, floater, rattles out, no good. Rebound to Heckman, here's Tyson Mann. Caledonia by 3, 46-43. Under 5 minutes to go. Left side, Heckman all alone. Triggers a 3. Rolls out, no good. Rebound to McKenzie. Able to sky above a couple of Bulldogs, and now McKenzie takes it all the way down the floor. He'll stop in the wing and kick it back up top for Holt, who will back it out in front of the timeline and restart the offense. 4.5 to go, fourth quarter. Caledonia by 3. VanderWoude, handoff left wing McKenzie. McKenzie lobs left elbow to Googans. Spins in the lane, spins back the other way. Right hand floater will not go. A rebound to Heckman after it rolled off the fingertips of Regnerus. Hendrickson will take the ball and slow down the Grandville attack left wing. Gets a screen from Regnerus that opened up a whole bunch of space, but he missed it in rhythm short. Rebound down to Holt. Final 4 minutes of the game. Holt all the way to the basket. Jump pass. Left corner McKenzie. Extra feed to Horn left wing. Up top for VanderWoude. 3:57 less, fourth quarter. McKenzie dumps down left block to Horn. Turns the back, cut off, spins back left corner for McKenzie. He'll whip it up top for VanderWoude. Caledonia by 3 late. Reaching foul on Ryder Haight as he was all over VanderWoude. VanderWoude will take a seat right here. Sanders and Greenfield check in as Googans also gets what will presumably be his final rest of the game. 3:47 fourth quarter. Caledonia 46, Grandville 43. McKenzie to throw in from in front of his bench. Lobs it just in front of the timeline of Greenfield. It actually looked like he maybe straddled the line over and back. No call as he throws it right wing onto the Horn. Back onto Holt, top of the key. Holt, right corner Greenfield. Greenfield drives to the free throw line. Two-hand feed to the Horn. Left side whips on to McKenzie. McKenzie stutters in the lane. Floater over top of a pair of Bulldog defenders. Strong. Both teams really forcing the shots right now and hate the basketball. Grandville down 3. 3:20 to go, fourth quarter. Bulldogs led all the way in this one, led by double digits even at points. But Caledonia has come storming back late. Mann feeds top of the key to Haight. Haight swings right corner to Hendrickson. Hendrickson lobs left block to Regnerus. Good defense from Sanders to get the hand in there, poke the ball away. McKenzie takes the ball, and then McKenzie kind of got inadvertently run into from behind and fouled. Foul is on Regnerus, his first, 4 on either team. And a timeout from the Grandville bench. 3:04 fourth quarter. Caledonia faithful fired up as the Bulldogs have to reset things. Still just a 3-point game with 3 minutes to go, but the way this thing has gone, Caledonia has certainly kind of seized all the momentum and a tough, grinding contest right now. Again, game night back on the air Friday when we'll see East Kentwood, boys and girls, in that contest. As that will certainly be an interesting matchup in both games, especially the boys, and especially considering that East Kentwood is looking for this come-from-behind win against Rockford tonight. And when you look at the top of the OK Red, every game, I think, from the jump, we of course hyper-focus on the games that come late into February and deep into the winter, but it's these games now at the very start of the OK Red when teams are just starting to find their momentum, when you have 5-6 teams plus that can really beat each other on almost any given night, especially when you look at games like this between Grandville, Caledonia, of course, Rockford, and East Kentwood to that extent. Winning these games so critical, and out of the break, Grandville will bring some full court pressure. So they call the timeout, and they will set up some full court man-to-man pressure right here. It's something, of course, Coach Young, coming from Grand Rapids Christian, they like to utilize a 1-2-2 or a 1-2-1-1 full court defense, and they go full court trap right here. This is kind of a 1-2-1-1 type alignment in the backcourt. Elijah Holt trying to run up the left side of the floor, stutters the feet. Travel called, Grandville basketball. So the Bulldog pressure right away forces a turnover, and the Dogs down 3 take over. 2:58 to go in the fourth. They'll get a front court inbound, right side. Heckman to throw it in for the Bulldogs. Gets in front of the timeline to Quentin Hendrickson, defended by VanderWoude. Throws left wing to Heckman, working the pivot foot. Down left block to Regneris. Jump stop, spins, left-hand shot over top of Guggens, will not go. He continues to fight it in the second half after a great first half. Caledonia beats the pressure down the floor to McKenzie. Up top for Holt. Holt, right wing, backs it out, defended by Tyson Mann. Crosses down the left side of the lane. Jump pass, right elbow Guggens. Guggens gave a shoulder, gave a spin, right-hand floater, good. Caledonia by 5, 48-43. Guggens with 17. He continues his great night. So the Bulldogs now trail by a couple of possessions. Mann backing to the free throw line. Feeds left elbow, Regneris. Regneris turns the back on Guggens. Left-hand shot short. Again, unable to get the finish, Cam Regneris. And Guggens and Caledonia will slow it down. Guggens left side to McKenzie. 2:06 fourth quarter. Right side to Guggens. Bulldogs bring out a half-court trap. Guggens underhand handoff on to McKenzie. McKenzie feeds Holt left corner. Holt working along the baseline. Ball poked away by Tyson Mann. It will stay with Caledonia. Summers and Highboard check in here for the defensive possession as Heckman and Haight take a seat. 1:55 fourth quarter. Caledonia 48, Grandville 43. The Scots have saved their largest lead for the end of this one right now. DeHorn inbound into the right corner, handoff onto a curling Elijah Holt. He'll take it top of the key. Mann hounding all over him. Holt spins away from Mann. Jump pass, right corner to DeHorn. He'll two-hand feed it right wing to VanderWoude. VanderWoude, angle drive, cut off right corner, feeds top of the key to Holt, and Holt is fouled from behind by a reaching Quentin Hendrickson. 1:41 fourth quarter, 15 foul on the Bulldogs, second on Quentin Hendrickson. Caledonia 48, Grandville 43. Right side inbound, Mason McKenzie to throw it in for the Scots. Bulldogs upping their pressure here in the half court. McKenzie gets it top of the key to VanderWoude. VanderWoude double team, lost the ball. A foul called. Looks like they're going to get Tyson Mann, who was at the feet, diving down at VanderWoude. And VanderWoude came up limping a little bit off that play as he got nicked by the diving man. Sixth team foul on the Bulldogs, first on Tyson Mann. And that now will, from here on out after this inbound, put Caledonia shooting free throws. 1:37 fourth quarter, 48-43 Caledonia. Scots up 5. VanderWoude angles over the left side of the timeline off a lob pass inbound. Kicks it left corner to a leaping Holt. Holt working against the trap. Final minute and a half. Bulldogs pressure in. Timeout called by Coach Visser. So a full timeout called by Coach Visser. Just under 90 seconds to go in the fourth. Caledonia by 5 will step aside. We'll be right back here from Caledonia for the close of this one.
Jerry opened the letter. An eviction notice? He and his family couldn't bear to move again. It was warm and they had plenty of space for their acorns. Anxiety took a hold of him. Then suddenly...
You've got squirrels in your engine and they chew through the wiring.
And it was covered thanks to a farmer's agent. Engine Bay Squatters, May 23rd, 2015. Talk to farmers. We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Contact the Scott Bates Agency today at 616-531-3441. Your local farmer's agent who helps you plan for the unexpected.
I'm Randy Hansen, president of Centennial Securities. I've heard it said that professional coaches measure success in rings, college coaches measure success in championships, and high school coaches measure it in titles. But youth coaches measure success in smiles. At Centennial Securities, we're like the youth coach. Our success is measured by the smiles on the faces of our satisfied clients. If you're a Centennial Securities customer, you know what I mean. If you're not, isn't it about time?
Member SIPC and FINRA.
Final 127, Caledonia 48, Grandville 43. Mason McKenzie throws into the backcourt, and a foul is called off the ball on the inbound. Looks like they're going to get Ryder Haight on it for his third, team seventh. So Caledonia and VanderWoude to the line for a 1-and-1. Hybor, Heckman come back in for the Bulldogs as Haight and Summers take a seat. So that's going to be, as the Bulldogs bring the full court pressure, your defense for offense subs. Summers and Haight will come in on defense, and then Hybor and Heckman, the three-point shooter Hybor in this game, has a couple, and then, of course, Heckman, a good offensive game, come in. First free throw, good for VanderWoude. That's going to be, I think, this game really could be won and lost. Look at some of the Bulldogs' issues at the line, missing a couple. If Caledonia can ice the game away with free throws, that'll be huge for them. They lead at 49-43. Second free throw rolls home. VanderWoude got them both. He has 10, and Caledonia leads by 7, 50-43. Bulldogs force it all the way down the floor to Hendrickson. Figures it out left corner for Hybor. Hybor launches a three. Good. 9 points for the sophomore off a trio of triples, and immediately the Bulldogs call a timeout as they're back down 4. Hendrickson drove, looked like he kind of wildly almost wondered if he's going to lose the basketball, able to corral it just enough to feed to the corner as he figured that one out and got it to Hybor, and Hybor with space knocks down another three. The Bulldogs sophomore winning in this one, really, I think win or lose for the Bulldogs. The play of Hybor off the bench, as we're going to continue to see him in his sophomore season grow, a very big part of what Grandville is going to be looking to, and he's been very impressive for certain in this one. Bulldogs will set up, of course, the full court press right here. Looks like it is more of a 1-2, 1-1 type alignment right here in the full court. And they'll get ready to go to work. Diamond in one, trap. Inbounded left side of the backcourt to Holt. Holt up the left side of the floor. Jumps over the timeline to a leaping Googans. Googans to the free throw line. Jump pass right side VanderWoude. Nearly stolen away by Ryder Haight. VanderWoude spins inside the final 105 fourth quarter. Down right block to DeHorn. Right wing to Googans. They're taking time and taking air out of the basketball. Googans to the corner. Fouled. They get Ryder Haight. That is 4 on the Bulldog guard. 101 fourth quarter. 50-46. Googans at the line. Heckman, Hybor back in. As again the Bulldogs continue to rotate defense for offense there. And now it comes down to Googans at the line to try to extend the Cal lead beyond 4. 2-point or 2-possession game regardless. Number 2 in white, the junior forward. Googans goes to work. Right hand free throw, good. He'll have another one coming. Googans with 18. And it's a 5-point lead. Stays a 2-point or 2-score game even with a made free throw here. Bends the knees, right hand free throw quickly whipped up and good. Googans very confident on both of those. Mann throws it all the way down the floor to Hybor. Triggers a 3 right corner, misses everything wide. Rebound to Googans, fouled by Ragnaris. The sophomore triggered it quickly from the corner, can't knock it down off the push. And now Googans goes to the line for a 1-and-1, and he has a chance here off Ragnaris' second foul to put his team up 3 scores. This definitely would be a disappointing loss for the Bulldogs. The way this one was going early, and at the half they led the game, even led the game throughout the third quarter. Free throw good for Googans. That was confident. He's got 20. This is a kid that really can go off. 31 points against Covenant Christian, goes 20-plus tonight. We've seen the danger he can bring offensively. And Caledonia certainly making a statement, looking to get to 1-1 in the conference. Googans hits the second as well, 54-46, final 53 seconds. Mann all the way up the floor. He has not scored yet. Spins in the lane, lost the handle, regathers, kicks it around left wing. Ragnaris triggers a deep three. Off the connector, no good. Leaping rebound, Mason McKenzie got it on to VanderWoude. VanderWoude works his way up the right side of the floor. VanderWoude to the right elbow, fouled by Hybor. That will be 2 at the line and into the double bonus, 54-46. So for Caledonia, as this one is getting academic, the Scots will go to 500 on the year and 500 within the OK Red. Grandville set to fall to 4-3 overall as VanderWoude makes the first free throw. Man, they have been good at the line. He's got 11. That was pure down the hatch, icing this game away. So both teams now 1-1 as it looks like most of the OK Red is going to be 1-1 after the first couple games of play. Second free throw rattles out. Rebound down to Heckman. Here is Tyson Mann trailing by 9. Mann, right wing, crossover into a three. Rattles out, no good. Tyson continues to be held off the score sheet. Mason McKenzie to take it up. He'll get it over the timeline. Final 22 seconds. Looks like the Bulldogs are not going to foul right here, down 9. And that'll be the white flag. Both teams back towards their benches. We'll get the handshake line. 55-46. Caledonia comes from behind at the half. They close out a tough win on their home floor here tonight, and both teams are now back to 500 in the OK Red. And that will now kick off our Scott Bates Farmers Insurance Agency post-game show. Tough loss, I think, for the Bulldogs tonight with a lot of missed opportunities I think they go to. Their offense in particular really falters down the stretch. They scored 29 in the first half. They just scored 46 in total in the basketball game as things kind of break apart offensively for the Bulldogs down the stretch as Caledonia really looks good. This is a very good Caledonia team for certain. Again, we talk about how the OK Red is wide open and teams certainly are going to be able to beat each other and compete. They lost a very tough game that they certainly were kicking themselves against Hudsonville. Now you see the other side of that. They're able to win a tough game that the Bulldogs are kicking themselves for. And all things said and done, both teams back to even within the OK Red. All right, lots to break down here on the Scott Bates Agents postgame show, including we'll hand out our Centennial Securities Player of the Game right after this.
The sinister cries haunted Mary through the night. Dawn neared, and still the voice tormented her. She ran towards the safety of her car, flung open the door, and a coyote had somehow gotten locked inside. But the damaged interior was covered, thanks to Farmers Insurance. Coyote Carpool, August 1st, 2015. Talk to a farmer's agent. We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Contact the Scott Bates Agency today, 616-531-3441. A proud supporter of MichiganGameNight.com.
Can you identify your number one personal trait? The thing that you do better than most others? If not, this may be a good time to think this through. If you're really good at writing, then why use the phone? If you're great on the phone, why use email? If you have exceptional human relation skills, why sit back and let others lead? I'm Randy Hansen, president of Centennial Securities Company. Playing to our strengths is something we do very well at Centennial. And if you're already a customer, you know what I mean. If not, isn't it about time?
Member SIPC and FINRA.
And welcome back into the Scott Bates Farmers Insurance Agency post-game show. Caledonia goes even on the year, 3-3 and 1-1 in the OK Red. They take down Grandville 55-46 here tonight. Nate Dreyer with you. Grandville falls to 4-3 on the season. They also now are 1-1 within the OK Red. Some scoring recap. Quentin Hendrickson has 4 for the Bulldogs. Logan Stockwell has 8. Cam Ragnaris leads the Bulldogs in scoring. He has 13. Corbin Heckman right behind him with 12. Colin Hybor has 9 for the Dogs. Caledonia led in scoring by Jaden Googans. He puts up 21 on a really, really good night of work for the junior forward. Kyan VanderWoude goes for 11 for Caledonia. Elijah Holt has 8. Mason McKenzie has 7. You can just see the balanced scoring from the Scots in this one. DeHorn 3, Sanders 5. So top to bottom, Caledonia looks good. Where, of course, though, does our Centennial Securities player of the game goes to Jaden Guggens. Breaks 20 points, goes for 21. Big at the line as well down the stretch, helping ice the game away. So congratulations to Jaden, who is our Centennial Securities player of the game. All right, thanks for tuning in. Tonight, Caledonia picks up the win 55-46 and come from behind fashion against the Bulldogs. In this one, terrific second-half defense from the Scots in particular winds up outlasting the Bulldogs, who had a really good offensive start to this game. We're on the air Friday night, 5:30 p.m. for a doubleheader from Vanderslice Gymnasium. Grandville and East Kentwood in that one. Couple of really interesting games, especially that boys game, that constant race for the OK Red coming up, and we'll see this East Kentwood team trying to maybe make on the girls' side a little bit of a push for the OK Red as well, if maybe the Grandville girls can pull up a little bit of an upset in that. Of course, they competed well against West Ottawa, the Grandville girls did, on last Friday, at least through half of that game. So that could be really two really interesting games I'm looking forward to. Chandler will rejoin me then from Vanderslice Gymnasium. 55-46, Caledonia picks up the win. Scots go 3-3 on the year. The Bulldogs drop to 4-3. So thanks for tuning in. And for everyone at Michigan Game Night and Michigan Sports Radio, I am Nate Dreyer signing off. See you 5:30 p.m. MichiganSportsRadio.com/MGN or wherever else you may have listened to this game tonight. You can find us again on Friday as we got a doubleheader. Grandville, East Kentwood in that one. See everyone then.